And we're live. Weird little setup we got going for there. But the date today is... What is the date today? All this technology and I don't got a calendar. Friday, September 25th. It is 6 p.m. in the mountains. I'm Nicholas and welcome to Podcast. Elena.
Oh, we're already a little baked. I'm Elena. Welcome to the Highcast.
And what we want to do with the live cast is apparently... Okay, so what we want to do with the... Okay. Well, I guess you guys already got the first part of it, is that we're going to be a little bit more spiritual and in a different state of mind while we're talking about some of these more interesting and differing topics. I wouldn't say necessarily important, because we like to ramble a wee bit.
A lot.
But yeah, this is the brainchild of me and Elena. I had originally thought of the concept, I don't know, like last year maybe. I thought about it here and there, right when I started using recreational cannabis. Again, after it got legalized, I did end up using it more. Oh, we got someone in the chat.
Oh. Can we simp over the co-host? I accept simps. I love
Kaylin?
simps.
Kaylin, you need to stop. So,
If you want to send me some, like, McDonald's while you're at it, like, that would be really good. I just finished a whole pizza, but that would be, like...
by the way, Kaylin, it's an AMA, so if you have anything to ask us, like, just feel free. We both have our screens up just in case one of us stops looking. And, yeah. But I had originally... I can't believe we have a simp. We've been streaming for like 10 minutes. Kaylin, it's no simp September. Never mind. You gotta leave.
I like simps. I'm a simp.
You're a narcissist is what you are.
I don't, okay, well, no, I don't simp for myself, but there are, like, some ladies out there, specifically ladies, who are, like, get my heart going, bro. They really do.
Okay, let's get at least the intro done before we start the rap. But, I thought about this maybe a year ago, right when recreational cannabis, or was it a year ago, 2 years ago now? Whenever...
A year ago.
Yeah, whenever Trudeau got elected and cannabis became legalized in Canada, I started smoking pot a wee bit more than usual. But, I thought, I'm like, what if we do a podcast like this? But then it's not a new idea necessarily, because there is, like, Joe Rogan. I know Snoop Dogg had a podcast. And then the guy from Cypress Hill has his podcast. And they all kind of generally get the same idea. We're going for the more of like a open approach. We want to talk about like religion, spirituality, maybe even politics, or just, anything. We do have some hosts lined up, specifically some fellow artists that I know. So if you guys are interested in that, you guys can stay tuned for that as well. But yeah, this is Highcast.
We don't talk about Logan Paul.
Okay, apparently we're not talking about Logan Paul. But
that's a whole nother can of beans.
I actually stopped paying attention to YouTube drama. But like I know my brother's super into it and stuff like that, and like
so am I.
Is it still like how it was like back in the day? Like let's say when Basherverse, for example, got convicted as a diddler.
You don't know? Okay, so...
Oh, there's more drama?
Yeah, so a lot of people have actually been outed.
We can't even name Logan Paul's podcast. No, Kaylin, we don't mention that whatsoever.
That's
He doesn't count. Give me like 12 months. 12 months and then we'll see where we're at compared to him.
Yeah, but there have actually been like a lot of YouTubers and TikTokers who have been outed.
Yeah.
For like grooming and other such activities.
Yeah, that's a weird like it's people. I think it's kind of disgusting actually, but like that people would use their channel and like their kind of like following and like presence to kind of like take advantage of like someone who idolizes them. And like when you hit like stuff like that, like yeah, you're not like a traditional celebrity, but you still have that same like capability of pretty much manipulating people who are just so starstruck by you for sometimes not so good reasons.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, especially on TikTok because it was intended to be a platform for children, but most of the big TikTokers are adults or just graduating high school. And there are just unfortunately a lot of cases where they take advantage of that power to get to younger people for their own
Yeah.
needs.
No, the earliest recollection I have of that was, like, this is, like, back in the day when, like, Minecraft was, like, bopping on YouTube. But, like...
Cryotic got exposed as a...
Ooh, haven't heard that name in a while. The one PewDiePie used to stream with, or film with, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the earliest case I remember was the whole Basherverse scenario, because I was very with, like... I liked watching Minecraft videos as a kid, and every once in a while I do find myself watching the ones that pop up in my recommended. Like, especially from, like, the older YouTubers that are still going. But, that was just a crazy situation, and, like, I think everything being publicized might have, like, some negative effects, though, because I remember I was, like, super young when the Basherverse thing happened, but then all of a sudden I'm hearing things like solicitation and this or that, right? And, like, as a kid, I was like, holy crap, right? Like, that was, like, a weird kind of... And I'm not saying we should, like, censor kids from the world, but, like, the fact that some of these get publicized, it's kind of insane.
It's not my time is now.
Oh, Aaron, welcome. Aaron, I have to remind you, the Instagram portion of this broadcast is also interlaced with my school as a project I need for the semester. I would beg you kindly to, well, we do have the mature content thing on, so, you know, we're all adults here. But, yeah, we're just Gucci. Also, what were we talking about? I zoned out. We're still baked.
Child groomers.
Ooh. That's a bit of a tough one.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone's in the chat, boys. Nice to see you. Well, for those of you listening on the podcast we're going to post later on, my friends just showed up to the chat. It's a bit of a party. Yeah, no, being so young with, like, hearing the Basherverse thing, that was, like, really weird. And, like, from what I can tell now, from, like, just, like, my younger siblings talking about it, who, like, rarely even, like, talk to me because of school and everything, I hear it's, like, all over, like, there's, like, this whole, like, I guess, like, cancel culture, almost.
Oh, cancel culture is so toxic.
And I was reading about it, I'm like, it's like taking people out, like, just off the map. You've taken away someone's source of income, which is insane, but it's insane that you have that as a source of income, right? Like, it's cool that you can, but it's, like, weird, new, right? But then you get, like, people that, like, they lost everything. I was reading up about it, because I read about it when the K-pop fans, for some reason, tried to cancel Joji.
I didn't hear about that.
It was over, like, the Filthy Frank stuff from years ago. And they were, like, super offended about, like, the weeaboo stuff and everything. And, like, I don't know. It was, like, K-pop fans, though, for some reason, not, like, J-pop fans. So I was confused. I didn't read too much into it. But, everything's going. Let's see what's going in the chat. Flop last weekend. Nice. Oh, yeah, it was Cheyenne's birthday. And she's like, yeah. She was, like, in our Facebook group chat. And she was like, yeah, dude. I'm partying. And then she's like, but not with you guys, though. This was in a group chat with all of us. That was so funny. We just got, like, shut down. Who gives a damn about Joji's past? Apparently K-pop fans, Aaron. Yeah, my friend Aaron in the chat was just saying, who gives a damn about Joji's past? Apparently K-pop fans. What if we get canceled for talking about K-pop fans? How much power do they hold?
Bro, I am the K-pop.
Oh yeah, Elena's
so
Korean.
If you didn't know, I'm half Korean.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, there's a new guy who's, like, not bad. If you get over the fact that it's not Joji, there's, like, another, like, quite popular Filthy Frank-esque channel. That's kind of like a direct spin-off. He's like pretending like Filthy Frank is, like, a spirit, and, like, it just, like, transferred. I was like,
that's kind of...
Yeah, I'm like, we're gonna ignore the thinking about this, but, like, it's okay. Like, it captures, like, this, it gives you the same vibes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty hard to find the guy's channel, because YouTube suppressed the hell out of him, but he has a decent following still. Kaylin, every Friday, me and Elena, we're gonna get a little high and talk about some higher topics, I guess. But I go partying with my new crew, Kaylin. Sorry, but yeah, every Friday we're gonna get a bit spiritual and talk about things and stuff, and we're gonna have guests next week. I think you know Ryan. We're probably gonna have Ryan on the show to talk about like being an artist during COVID and newly graduated and stuff like that, right? Like Elena can attest to that. It's been kind of tough
Ryan
graduating.
and I were in the same program.
And it's tough graduating, having a skill set, and no one hiring for that skill set because of like an economic shutdown.
Actually, on the topic of our skill set, there's actually people trying to scam graphic designers. Like, there's one company going around, and once they have your resume, they will send you a message saying that you need to e-transfer another company money that they will send to you. But the transfer that they send you doesn't go through, so you end up sending your money to this other company. And they're doing that to people who already don't really have jobs because of the current economy.
Huh. I'm gonna be in debt forever. Dude, that's like... I mean, I think I can pay off my student debt, but like it's definitely not an easy task. Like I think the bit of advantage I have was I'm in a business program, so I have had like lessons in finance, money management, investing, and all that stuff. So I feel like as long as I can land some sort of job or grow my company bigger post secondary, I guess. I think I will be fine, but then like everyone still has those fears of like what's going on, especially with like a pandemic going on right now. It's like I'm having trouble finding work for me and Elena a lot of the time, right? Like I emailed her yesterday for the first time in a little bit here with some work. Finally, now that people are finally starting to go back to work, but it's difficult out there with all this, especially for like marketers, graphic designers, like new media.
A lot of creative fields and a lot of things that require you to be in office to work. Especially if there are some places that use local files and you can't access them remotely, which is a big problem for some places.
Oh yeah, like
So wear a mask.
Yes. We're big supporters of masks around here. Just it sucks. We get it. No one wants to wear a mask. They're uncomfortable, but like, come on.
Bro, if I have to wear a mask, I don't have to do half of my face. I think they're amazing.
I'm a hardworking boy. Really helped with the weight loss. Oh yeah, Aaron, because you're like doing like triple, quadruple the work, and like at least like you're doing some insane things at the warehouse. I do remember that. For those of you who don't know, Aaron works at a warehouse, and from my understanding, when they tell him to stock up or load up, tends to get his job done fairly quickly, and has been quite impressed with the bosses. And apparently, he drives a fuck ton of forklifts, boys.
I want to drive a forklift. Can you imagine what we would do if we got our hands on a forklift?
I can get my hands on a forklift.
I think you should get your hands on a forklift.
Maybe if we start getting sponsorships and stuff, we can do some actual content creation. But yeah, that's probably gonna be the topic with a lot of like the guests we have later on in the broadcast and everything too. Just because COVID's been going on for so long and it's probably not gonna go away anytime soon. Probably no matter what field, I think we're gonna see like a trend in like COVID's affected this or that, right? And like I think it's in times like these definitely pushes people to their limits, right? But it can also push people into like bad habits and stuff, so one has to be like cautious of that, right? Because I remember for a little bit there, I took myself off payroll for the company to collect CERB because the company wasn't making any money, so I took myself off payroll, which is a fine thing to do, but they encourage you to do it actually because there's a whole scheme. They actually make money off of COVID. I gotta explain that. It's not like a scheme, but like it's a financial plan. It's really smart actually. Like people who actually read the whole game plan, it's really smart. But at the end of the day, we're all gonna pay back this money and then some. which is fine because it's going to be over time, but the government will make money back on this. But that's besides the point. So I remember being on CERB, and I remember I stopped looking for work for the company for a little bit. But yeah, it sucked, right? And then I realized I got into that habit, and you gotta push yourself past it because, right? You're just gonna put yourself more on your ass the longer you stay on this. Also, Kaylin says, "How is your dog Nick? She missed me." Oh, okay. Here's the story. It was June.
I don't really like where this is going.
No. Okay. So I tell them, because Luna, when there's a lot of people around, my dog, she when people get on eye level with her, she gets really excited and kind of wants to go lick your face. When she'll usually end up taking you out because she doesn't know she's fat, but she's kind of fat. She's like
she's not fat. She's just.
Yeah, she's an 100-pound pit bull, so it's she thick.
14 C's.
But so the first thing Kaylin does, because we're all drinking and having a bit of a time, right? This was a couple months after full lockdown. People were finally allowed to have gatherings again and stuff. So we decided to have a little shindig, and yeah, no, Kaylin gets on eye level. I'm a little loaded at that point. We're playing video games and stuff, and I'm kind of losing track of it. I see Kaylin's foot from over my can you guys see in the frame? That green couch I had pushed to that side of the room so we could all sit around the TV. I see Kaylin's foot go up, and my dog pretty much making out with Kaylin on the floor because Kaylin's trying to get away, and she's on top of him, showing him his balls. I'm like, Luna, goddammit. And she's a super nice dog, but she's just big. Everyone she's big and she's strong. Actually, when we first got her, she was 1 at the time, and she was still super puppyish. We had our little brother Diego walking the dog, and he's not super little, but he's definitely a few years younger than me. He's definitely a few years younger than me. I remember she was still a puppy, and she chased every squirrel she'd see. So we're practicing in the wintertime for him to walk the dog, right? We're in a field. I roll up a snowball. I look at my dog, and I throw it across the field, and proceed to watch the dog drag my little brother 20 feet before he finally let go of the leash. And then I got in trouble when I got home.
Gee, I wonder why.
He's covered in snow, crying. He wasn't crying actually. He took it like a champ, but he was just all red, right? Because he face first into the snow.
I wonder why.
Let's see what the chat's been saying. Luna's a straight G. Oh, Caden. Yeah, Caden was pretty much the one who was hanging out with Luna since birth, because Caden's dog, Charlie, is Luna's mom, and we got Luna from him. And
Savannah's brother?
Yeah, Caden. Well, yeah, that, their family, right?
Yeah.
And I think they called, what was her name before? Daisy? Was it Daisy? Asian dogs, you sick bastard. What? What? Oh, Kaylin's simping for you already. Look, I like Asians too, just saying.
Yo, bro, I like McDonald's, so what are we gonna do about this?
That's so funny. Yeah, for those of you listening on to the audio version.
If you know Nico's address, send me McDonald's.
Why would you say that?
I want McDonald's.
A lot of messages while y'all be talking. Well, yeah, we like the interaction, right? I'm hopefully gonna try to keep the balance between the chat and just us rambling, right? Because going in and out, right? I gotta keep kind of a smooth transition. I am paying attention to the chat, kinda. Okay, Aaron. He promised me he wouldn't do that kind of stuff. Don't worry. But he'll get as close as he can to exposing me, without actually exposing me. What are you doing?
Clicking thing.
Oh. Yeah, no. Luna, I guess. That's where we left off.
I give Nico's dog a hair eating problem.
Oh, yeah, you can tell that story.
Okay, so my hair is obviously short now, as you can see. I cut half of it off, but my hair used to go down to my butt. And the first time I met Luna, she was still a puppy. And I don't know what it is about my hair and dogs, but dogs love my hair. So for about a year after Nick had her, he had to train her to not eat hair because the first time I met her, all Luna did was like eat my hair until I left.
It took, because me and Elena used to hang out a lot in high school too, with this other guy that I don't feel like naming.
Also, yeah, Shay, I cut like most of it off. I'm gonna cut more off.
Yeah, like the whole little bit that I was hanging out with Elena when Luna was like just a puppy, like this big, it took me months to train her not to like try to like bite people's hair. Oh, thanks for the follow, Kaylin. That's much appreciated. My simps.
Yo, I'm trying to grow a simp army. I accept men and women. I don't know what to offer you, but like I'll send you a piece of my hair.
That's... I have a drop of respect for Nico. One
so
drop.
do I.
Hey.
Half a drop. You said half a drop.
That's bold of you to promote the simp army in No Simp September. Yeah, no, we plan to go, like, once we start to sober up, we plan to do, like, 15-minute breaks in these podcasts to go load up again.
Why don't you have donations?
I do have donations. Me and Elena have donations set up.
I accept attack helicopters. I'm gonna get rid of this guy.
What? Wait a minute. Yeah, no, Kaylin, the donations thing is right underneath. Like I said, we'd much appreciate it. Elena does get the half of it, so...
I'm addicted to McDonald's, so...
So, you know, if you want to simp for her. But like I said, this is a free platform, so we'll never, like, be... Have you seen those streamers? The streamers who are like, I can't believe you're watching for free. It's been 5 hours like and no subs. And you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I watched an ad just like everybody else. You know, like, they just start, like, and they're always, like, these, like, they're just, like, those streamers that, like, I don't know. Like, all respect to them. They're on their grind, I guess. But, like, those streamers that don't actually do any content, like, they're just, like, their camera's bigger than their game screen. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, always those kind of followers. Not Hot Man Banana, thank you for the follow. It's much appreciated.
Shay has won my heart. I don't need anyone else. I no longer need a simp army. McDonald's, McDrips.
McDonald's, McDrips. Oh, thanks for the donation. It hasn't popped up on my screen yet, so I can't see.
Oh my god!
What? Kaylin? Was that Kaylin?
Yeah, it is.
Kaylin, you can't simp for her this hard, dude.
Whoa.
This is episode 1.
Bro,
we plan on doing this every Friday. You gotta spread those out, dude. Holy shit.
Hold on, I need a second.
You owe me a date. Kaylin. You already know where we gonna go. We already know. Me and you, Ace Nightclub. Let's go. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's go to a strip club.
Kaylin wants a date with you, not me.
Oh. We can go to a strip club. Or we can go to the... No, clubs aren't open. I want to go to the...
Don't tell me, tell Kaylin.
Oh, yes. No, I'm just trying to, like, make a statement. Like, I want to go to a drag show.
I'm not even... You did this man so dirty.
Bro, we can hang out, like...
He broke cardinal rule. Oh.
So now I have to break him. Oh my god.
Well, there's hope for you, Kaylin. She just said we can hang out. I respect it. You miss every shot you don't take, I guess. Hey. Gang. Has it even been an hour yet?
Bro, we can get...
Elena's got 2 simps in the chat, and it's been, like, not even an hour.
Hi, Talia. I love you. The McGangbang. Oh, bro, can we get McDonald's? So, I'm very food driven.
Apparently.
My life basically revolves around food.
Is that the Talia from like your online group?
You haven't talked to them for a while.
No, but that was a fun thing. Elena, I remember being in high school and being like, huh. Like I was like, that's pretty like interesting. I've never had like a friend group outside of like Call of Duty of like random online people. But like I got invited to a few of your guys' like Cards Against Humanity. And you guys are a pretty tight knit group. You guys have known each other for years. Like that's crazy because like I would consider you guys all close and personal friends, even though you guys have, for the most part, never met, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wish my Call of Duty homies were still around. I wonder where they are. You know what I mean? The PS3 Call of Duty days, my MW2 squad. Like, I wonder where they are, dude. I had this friend, Tyrese. I miss Tyrese. I don't know where the fuck, what he did, but he never logged back on.
I don't know about you, but all my friends were on Webkins.
I don't know.
We were raised very differently. Talia, I love you.
I'm known. Let's avoid the YouTube drama again, I guess, but... Oh, actually, I want to talk about one more thing. Did you hear Leafy came back and then got banned?
Wait, who's Leafy?
Leafy is here. He was like this really...
I know the name.
Yeah, he quit the platform for a while because he offended a bunch of people, but he was like one of those really like... He was one of the first like... I don't know, like offensive YouTubers, like... Not intentionally offensive, but he was very like brunt about things, and it made certain people not like him, right? Like he was like a commentary channel, and he was like some people took it as like bullying because he was pretty brunt about things, but like, you know.
Yeah.
And then he quit YouTube for that, like not because of the haters, but he's like, I'm done, right? He's like, you're suppressing my channel. There's nothing I can do about it, right? Mm-hmm. So he quit. He came back a little while ago. And then I saw him on an interview with the Drama Alert guy, because I actually still watch the Drama Alert for, like, the Logan Paul fights and stuff like that. Those were funny. I can't believe YouTubers hit UFC. But, and then I guess YouTube banned him permanently. And then, yeah, like, YouTube banned him permanently. I think Twitch banned him, too. So, that was interesting. Like... It's weird that they have that much power to, like... Is that, like, censorship?
Dude, you're getting a call out.
Hey.
There's no freedom of speech on YouTube or your gaming streams. I'm gonna let you read that one out.
This is why you guys should tune into the streams, boys, because I'm not saying that. Ban him. No, Aaron won't get me banned. He knows. Gagan, you said you were busy? No, Aaron, like, as brunt as he is, you gotta respect it, because, like, Aaron's not gonna talk shit behind your back. He's gonna say it to your face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
half a drop of respect, remember. He only has half a drop of respect for you.
And that's enough to tell me that he hates me.
No, but there's still, like, a half a drop of respect.
But half a drop of respect is him telling me that he hates me.
It is what it is.
But,
I think you should read the chat.
Yeah, that's it's like that in my gaming streams too. I don't know. I mean, it helps with the algorithms because like all of a sudden I got like I hate paragraph from Aaron, or the other day he started posting recipes in my chat. Like full on recipes, and then like someone clipped that, and on my gaming channel that has like the most views, it's like my most viewed clip is Aaron listing off recipes in my chat while I'm playing like League or something.
Send bread recipes. I like bread.
He's gonna do it. Okay. Well, for those of you watching on YouTube and probably listening on Spotify, we wanted to post on Spotify tomorrow, but unfortunately, with some changes with Anchor FM, we didn't feel comfortable signing off the rights to our channel. So we are gonna independently publish probably through a different vendor. But definitely going up on YouTube tonight or tomorrow, like the latest for the VODs. If you guys need to go to bed, take a break, or let's say someone missed it who wanted to watch it, right? We'll have it on our YouTube channel as well.
Talk theories. They want us to talk about theories.
Talk theories? All right. Do you got one, or should I just keep going?
You keep going.
Okay. I ramble, so you gotta just let me know when you want to jump in.
I'm a little toasty.
There's this. Oh yeah, we're pretty toasty. I have some good stuff legally bought from the Canadian government. What a country we live in. This is great. But speaking of theories, there's this one theory. Like, I'm not very religious or spiritual personally. I respect that other people wanna have beliefs, and I kind of envy people who can believe in something a little bit. But that's tough for another story. But like. You know, I'm pretty open-minded, right? But this one little theory, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I wouldn't mind if it was the reality, I guess. But there's this theory, it's called the egg. And after 36 minutes performs... Oh, Aaron's doing recipes! Okay, I'm gonna ignore that. I'll post those in the YouTube description or something later on. If he's given real recipes, knowing him, and then it's like, and then throw like in some like Coke. You know what I mean? He's like that, or like a couple nails in the blender. But
it adds texture.
Iron deficiency be like. Oh, that's bad. I shouldn't have said that one. But so there's this theory, the egg. I kind of know why it's called the egg, but it doesn't make complete sense.
Keep going.
Someone upstairs moving something. But what it is like when you die, you kind of like start regaining like memory of other lives that you lived, and like
you can do that in past life regression, but you have to. That takes into account like the spiritual aspect of things. Like you gotta like, if you don't believe, it's not gonna work, kind of deal, you know?
Yeah, probably.
But anyways, yeah, continue.
Yeah. So like it's like the egg, and when you die, you start remembering your past lives and everything, and like it's a super long, interesting theory that I don't quite remember 100%, but I would look into it. You guys will like. It's called like the egg. I think if there's like a video on YouTube about it that one of those like infographic type shows did about it, but it's called the egg, and what it is you are everything you are every person that ever lived, right? Because like, and then you're like, oh, that doesn't make sense because of time. Well, there is no time. Like, it's pretty much like you.
Time is a social construct.
Oh dear God, we're not even gonna get into that. But like, the whole theory is after you've lived every life imaginable, you like hatch into a higher being. That's why it's called the egg from last I told. But it's a really cool theory. It's like you were every person, so you were every like good person, you were every like bad person, and like it's all something to do with like lessons and stuff. And I do a bad job at explaining it, mostly because I haven't read about it in a while. But like that's just the first one that comes to mind, so it must have made an impression on me in some way, shape, or form.
Well, if you remember it, obviously.
Well, let's talk about what did you call it? Past life regression?
Yeah,
I've never heard of that.
It's a kind of meditation that you do, where you can literally look into your past life, like who you were, and like it's on YouTube. I don't remember what to search, but it is a YouTube video that you basically just need to be in a space where you won't have any distractions, and you go through this meditation routine, and people have had accounts at the end where they have very like vivid explanations of what happened in their past life, like what people around them looked like if they were in love or whatever, like the whole situation there, so you can see into your past life. And I have a friend, you know, Cindy.
The last freedom ship is now following. Thank you for the follow.
I don't know who you are, but thanks for the follow.
That's much appreciated, man.
But yeah,
thanks for supporting the channel.
You know Cindy, and Cindy
from SATE?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cindy has had like her own actual experience with that. A game theory. Game theories. Actually, you know what I really like?
What?
Like game lore.
Ooh, like I know a lot of people aren't a fan of League, but also a lot of people are. But actually, let's go.
Yeah, Vinny, you got me totally off topic here, but
let's go to what Aaron said first, since I want to keep the chat alive. But Aaron says, "Where does a thought go when it's forgotten?" Well,
To the void.
I guess. Like, have you guys ever heard of like lost data? Oh, that's a pretty good theory, actually. So, well, it's not even like a theory. There's like, so about like it's a really small percentage, but like a certain percentage of like data that's sent over the internet like disappears from existence without a trace, somewhere between point A and point B. And some people are thinking, because like the way the internet's structured, some people are thinking there's like a lost like section somewhere that has like a lot of this, like it's almost like a black hole of information. No, not even the dark web's something. It's kind of set up
Yeah, I know.
different, but like they think like it's just some weird like error that's been collecting like pulling random data, and like people might be able to access it or something. I spilled some energy drink on me and didn't realize, but that's crazy. It's like. Because, like, it's only a very small percentage, but with the amount of data that's been transferred over time, it's like this, I forget what it is, but it's like this massive number of data that's just gone with the wind. Like, anything from, like, text messages to, like, important emails between governments. Like, randomly go missing sometimes.
That's sus.
Right? But, like, it's crazy because, like, with a network that large, I could imagine it would be a possibility that, like, might be, like, some weird coding error that's, like, storing data somewhere.
Well, especially with like a majority of the world, like there's got to be a limit to how much data can be saved, you know?
Well, there's like these cables. I remember reading about these cables, and how the internet works is there's like these fiber optic cables, and the first one was laid really long ago with like some really like rudimentary technology, and it was for like the what are those things called where it's like do 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 do.
Oh, Morse code?
Yeah, like the Morse code machines. Mm-hmm. That was what laid the groundwork for the internet today, because what they did was they had these big big like landlines almost at the very bottom of the ocean, and they'd run them between continents. And now there's that system for internet, and like whole continents. Like it happens a lot. Like I guess the last reported one was in South America. One of the cables got cut through something in the ocean. And, like, half the continent lost connectivity for, like, days, which is insane, because, like, it threw the government into ruin for a little bit, like, well, more than it already was.
Imaginable.
Yeah.
Or understandable.
But, like, it's straight up just, like, now they're, like, super hyper-reinforced and, like, weighted down, but, like, it's literally cables along the ocean floor. We've laid internet cables across oceans. That's, like, that's a big feat. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of distance to cover, and, like, I watched, like, you know, I started watching it as, like, a little bit, I think it was, like, a Vice, it might have been a Vice video or something like that, because I like watching that one guy who does, like, 1-star reviews, and sometimes we'll get into the other Vice stuff. Here's another one. The cigarette lighter was invented before the matchstick. Huh.
Miko spent about 10 minutes earlier looking for a lighter, and his dad got fed up with him because he couldn't find the lighter box.
And he went and got me a lighter. Actually, no, I actually stole one from his car because we couldn't find, the box didn't exist, but like he could have sworn it did. True facts. Huh. You're more likely to die from a cow than a shark. Oh, I knew that one.
Dude, cows are aggressive. Dude, especially, like, mother cows.
Mm-hmm. Dude, like, a cow can run you over, dude. Like, if it wants to, it's trampling you.
Yeah.
And, like, they're kind of, like, they're not super fast, but, like, you remember that one video that went viral of some guy running and there was this cow just, like, fucking galloping around the corner after him? And it was going, like, a decent speed. Yeah. Like, it was definitely not a light jog that man had to do. If you remove all the empty space from the atoms that make up the human, the Earth, the entire population can fit in an apple. Well, yeah, the way the world is, technically, everything is mostly empty space. Which is really cool to think about. On like a microscopic level, the way things are structured, they're solid. But, like, theoretically, there's enough empty space that, like, it's noticeable. Like, there's just voids between cells and atoms and things like that. And a horse, too, before a shark. I know a guy who got killed by a horse. I knew him in junior high. He was a really nice kid, but he did like farm races, not farm races. He did like
Horse races?
no, the thing where like the horses would like jump, like the horse shows, I guess.
Oh.
And I guess they had like a new horse, and he was trying to train him with behind his dad. Like his dad knew the horse was like not like well tempered, and the kid was being stubborn. And unfortunately, he just got kicked in the head and died.
Yeah.
And it was really sad, actually. I felt really bad. Manslayer1492 says, Elena, I love
Now
you.
I love you too. But, yeah, like, well, because when you think about it, sharks are dangerous, but unless you're in, like, unless we all lived in the water. So think of it this way. If we all lived in the water instead of on land with, like, horses and cows, there would be more, like, sharks killing people, you know? It just kind of depends on where you live. Have you ever seen a shark with retracted teeth?
What?
Their teeth aren't always out. They can keep them retracted.
That's just terrifying.
Well, not really, because if they're retracted, it's just like gums.
I know, but like you know, the shark look like it's friendly, and then all of a sudden, like the teeth come out.
There was a show that had a little monster dude that did that.
That kind of reminds me of the game. There was like this.
Land Sharks, rest in peace, Jenna Marbles YouTube channel. I'm kind of hurt by that.
That's some old YouTube. I haven't heard the name Jenna Marbles in a long time.
Jenna Marbles was an unproblematic YouTuber, and cancel culture got to her.
Do you remember that game? That like Hasbro game as a kid where like you had to push the shark's teeth in?
It wasn't a shark, it was the
Or
alligator.
the shark, the alligator. That's what that reminded me of,
Yeah.
though. Because I knew kids in junior high who were like dumb enough to like put like sharp things. Like we would
Why
tape
would
like
you
sharp
put
things.
sharp things
Because
on
like
it?
the game was like, ha ha ha, you lose your finger. Like kids are stupid like that. We were stupid like that. I'm
I
willing to
don't
admit.
know what kind of games you were playing, but I played the game the way it was intended to be played, without sharp objects.
Me and you grew up in very different areas of the city.
But like, not really. We never lived that far from each other.
I used to live in like Forest Lawn and like.
Yeah, it's like a 15-minute drive. That's not that far.
It's far enough. Life is clearly different. After meeting like some of the people I met in like high school versus like the people I would hang out with in like junior high.
Wait,
and continue hanging out
Kaylin,
with.
you don't know what a goblin shark is?
Ooh, do you want to put your laptop in like... Or do you want to tilt it towards me a little bit, actually?
The
Unfortunately...
Cheyenne shark?
Well, unfortunately, my tablet's about to die, so... This is the only communication I have with the chat. But, I don't know. Like, when I used to share stories with, like, some of my old friends, and then I talked to my friends from, like, St. Martha's when I would, like, hang out with them in high school and stuff. Very, very different, like, type of things. But I think that's, like, an area thing, though, too, because, like, if you go, like, down south into, like, those schools, like, they have, like, hockey kids and stuff, and, like, people are into, like, hockey and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, I couldn't name a single kid in St. Martha's who cared about hockey. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, of course, there was kids in, like, McNally who did, and, like, I don't know. I mean, Canadians in general love hockey, but, like, you know?
Yeah.
I just noticed that trend in, like, some of the schools that I was in. Different interests, right?
Mm-hmm.
Different pastimes.
Apparently, I used to play Webkins. I used to play games with, like, pointy objects.
Oh, man. I remember we had this skateboard, this kid named Riley. He was like the skateboarder kid, but he had like this little penny board, but like this kid Riley was like this big. Because like junior high, right? You got like giants mixed in with like people who haven't grown since they were like 6.
Me.
Right?
Me.
And what he did one day was he super glued his mom's like steak knife set to the freaking edge of his board. He's like, first one to do kickflip wins. I was like, sure, man, whatever. Like, and like it was like 3 of us. It wasn't even like our whole friend group, but like he just showed up. We were like, because there's like this big field behind where I used to go to school.
Tell them about your neighbor kid with the Coke can.
With
the knife.
Oh my god. Okay. I can't say where I live, but we're just gonna say Calgary area. On the same in the same like complex, there's this kid. We had just moved into this new house. There was this. What's the chat saying?
Aaron's just spitting straight facts. Oh my god.
What?
Keep talking.
Okay, are you quality control? Quality control.
Quality control.
You gotta click on his name. Do you see a timeout option?
No, just keep going.
Okay. I'm not the mod on this one, Aaron. This is a co-project between me and Elena. I can't... Oh, Elena has more simps, which means she has control of the channel right now. Where was I going? Oh, yeah, so, like, we just moved into this complex, okay? And there's this little kid, and he's my favorite kid on the street right now, right? Like, I see him all the time when I drive, when I go out, or, like, go to work and stuff, right? When I'm driving, I'll see him. And, he's holding a Coke can and a knife, running around asking the other kids who wants to play. And I'm sitting there like, where is your parents? Like, who the hell? And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then, like, I just see him around. He's just he's, like, super little, but he's, like, this super loud kid who's always, I don't know. I felt like it was irresponsible that I didn't say anything, but, like, there was also, like, actual parents, not of that kid, but of the kids that the kid was talking to, like, right there. So I figured, like, you know, someone's gonna get stabbed. It's gonna be the one with the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I took it upon myself to just keep driving. But, you know, I see him around. I have no clue what his name is, but he's my favorite kid. He just screams at you and leaves. It's,
So do I.
That's like half our phone calls. Half a drop goes a long way.
I think that's his drop of respect for you.
Oh. I read another fact from Aaron. Pigs can't look up at the sky.
They said the same for dogs. But my dogs literally walk around.
I was gonna say, my dog looks up. My dog, like... Actually, okay, my dog, if she wants to look up at the sky, she's usually on her back.
Catch a Coke can or get shanked.
What?
Catch a Coke can or get shanked.
I think for next stream, I'm gonna put chat...
We're gonna play Catch a Coke can or get shanked?
No, I'm gonna put
Streaming it now on Lively.
I was thinking more of, like, just having the chat on screen so I don't have to do as much editing for when we post it on YouTube.
Oh.
Because a lot of this is all of a sudden out of context without the Twitch chat. If someone owns a piece of land, do they own it all the way to the center of the earth?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, because you have to get a permit to dig a certain way down. Which
But they're
means...
not saying you have to dig.
But he's saying, do you own it to the center of the earth? So you could dig if you owned it.
What's gonna stop them?
All right. Moving on. What is that?
You drop it, you get dropped. I think we should play.
With, like, one of those, like... Oh, it is Halloween time soon. You know those little, like, retractable knives?
See, no, but instead of a Coke can, it's a Red Bull can. We stick little knives out of it. Like, you know those magician boxes where they, like, put a sword in them? It's like, the Red Bull can looks like that. And we have to play volleyball with it. And whoever loses a hand first is the loser. Watch out!
You do realize if we lose these, we stop making money. We have no other skills. If we lose the ability
I can
to...
use my mouse.
Cue the
I
Sims.
immediately-
Cue the Sims. Alright, someone clip that. It's gonna happen eventually anyway.
I think my hair has to be longer. It's short right now. I might cut it more. So I saw a comment on TikTok of this TikTok girl I follow. And, Not hot. Who's not?
All right.
Hot banana?
That's Aaron.
That's Aaron.
All right,
Okay,
Aaron.
bye,
Have a good
Aaron.
night. Thanks for terrorizing the stream for a little bit, keeping the content alive. Okay, now I'm interested.
Okay, but yeah, so there's this girl I follow on TikTok, because she's like really pretty.
Yeah.
And she also had really long hair like I did. She also cut most of it off. Hers was shorter than mine, but I was like going through her comments. And someone was like, you did what every bisexual does and cut your hair and give yourself like the typical bisexual haircut. And I looked at her and I looked in the mirror and I was like, fuck. 'Cause, you know, my hair used to be down to my butt. One day I just took scissors to it and I just like snipped like half of it off. And I went to the hairdresser and he's like, have you been cutting your own hair? I was like, yeah. And he's like, I can tell it's really I was using dog grooming scissors to cut my hair. Just gonna put that out there.
It's okay. I before I learned how to shave my head properly, I used to like fuck up my hairline when I would shave my head as a kid, and I just like I had
Is that
like.
what happened? Oh, it went up my nose. Is that what happened to your hairline?
What do you mean? Like.
Your hairline is like...
No, this is my natural hairline, but like I used to mess the shape up. Like now I just make sure the clippers have a guard so it doesn't cut all the way. I can't believe you just made fun of my forehead.
Like, how big is your forehead? Mine is.
Oh, I definitely got like a 5 head. It's pretty big.
Yeah, but your hand is also like bigger than mine.
But it's like big brain, you know.
Yeah.
Man's got a 5 head.
Shay agrees.
Yeah, no, I've been fully aware of my receding hairline. The fun part is it has yet to start receding. It just started up here.
His hair's gonna go like, woo, and then it'll meet at the back, and then you'll just have like a little island of hair up here.
No. It's what's gonna happen because like my grandfather has this actually. He has like a bald spot in the middle, and then he has hair like all the way around. And like everyone else in my family has like a full head of hair, but I got like I have a pretty high up hairline. And like I like to shave my head though. Like I personally like how I look with my head shaved, so I shave my head a lot, right? And
It feels better.
yeah, it's just freeing, right? Like
You look like an old man, is what Shay said.
man's got a 5 head, looking like an old man. Hey
Actually,
man.
you know what? You almost have the same hairline as my dad does.
And your dad is a beast of a man. How dare you disrespect him on camera?
Why aren't we wearing
I
masks?
vaped straight at the camera. I am so sorry. Huh?
Why aren't we wearing masks?
Why aren't we wearing masks? Because me and her have been self-quarantining. Me with online classes, only doing work online.
I
Her-
never left my house in the first place,
So-
and I wasn't gonna start during quarantine. So.
Yeah. So me and Elena have been pretty safe about it. Like for example, like some of my family members have gone back to school, and I try to stay a distance away from them. Like I have my own area, so I don't really have to interact with anyone too often. But yeah, with online classes and work being online and everything, it's like, you know, no one in our house has gotten sick or tested positive either in either households. So it's like,
But like, also wear a mask in public,
yeah,
because
like
this isn't gonna go away if we don't.
no, like if me and her were to walk to the store, we'd
Period.
wear masks in the store, obviously,
Yeah.
right? Like it's just we picked our quarantine group fairly early on.
Yeah, Nico can attest to me. Whenever we do go out, I have like 2 masks on me, and I use like every single hand sanitizer pump I can find.
I know she uses them on the way in, the way out, and I'm like sitting there like, your poor hands. Like I use them on the way out usually. And,
I have eczema too, so.
like especially if we're hopping stores, I only do it on the way out, because if you do it on the way, like going to the mall and hitting every hand sanitizer thing, you're gonna get like. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what I do with my hands, but I always feel like I got a lot of like cuts on my hands. So every time I put on hand sanitizer,
Well,
it,
I
like,
do, because I have
burns.
eczema.
We've discussed this. I realize that's why my hands are
Yeah.
fucked up too. Me and Elena both have eczema. We've had this conversation before, actually.
Yeah, so like, wear a mask to wash your hands, please.
Yes, wear a mask. Yes, it sucks. If you have glasses, medical tape you can buy at like most drugstores. If you put it like right where the line of your mask is, it seals up that area better, so it doesn't fog up. The air goes out sideways. like by your ears.
Or just stick it right under your, like, the nose of your glasses, because that's what I do.
Yeah, right. Like that's like unfortunately with wearing glasses, it makes it even worse. Like I couldn't imagine working like McDonald's still and having to deal with a mask and order rushes and stuff. Like, oh man.
Okay, Charlotte is her daughter, just to preface.
Mm-hmm.
Tell Charlotte I love her, though. She's my niece.
Oh, yeah.
I have a niece. Do you have a niece? You don't have a niece.
No, What? Yeah, no, there's this one Reddit, and it's like, kids are effing stupid, and, right when COVID first started, and people were still, like, going out, but, like, wearing masks, like, when it wasn't a mandate, when it wasn't a mandate, people were wearing masks, and then the moment they mandated it, they're like, no!
Everyone protest!
Yeah, but it was like, I can't believe they had a protest in Calgary, an anti-mask protest. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? And then like everyone's
Could be protesting for Black lives, but no, protest for masks. But that's a different topic.
Oh no, and like here's the thing too, is just like they're like, oh well, it's big corporations shutting down like the government. I'm like, no, because big corporations won't shut down the government because you buy things when you go out. So a mandate that would make everyone stay inside wouldn't benefit them. That's why I find that whole theory so redonkulous, because it's like, no, if no one's leaving their house, no one's buying things. Unless they're shopping online, which I guess is a booming industry, but a lot of stores are still not like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the baby boomer generation is, like, at the peak market power right now, because there's always, like, a generation that has more buying power than the rest, and right now, baby boomers have access to the most financial stability out of every generation alive right now. So those guys aren't shopping online, right? And those are like a third of the world's wealth. So like, they don't want to lose that customer base over this, right? That's how you know it's serious.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of like New York protest videos.
But what is that for, the Black Lives Matter, or is that for anti-mask? Because if it's the Black Lives Matter one, I understand.
Yeah, Vinny, which one are you talking about? Black Lives Matter or like anti-mask?
I support the Black Lives Matter movement. I don't support
the
anti-mask movement. Those guys are.
No, because that's just like keeping people from.
That's just gonna.
Healthy.
Those guys are gonna make the people. Not the people. Those guys are gonna make this last longer, which is what they kind of wouldn't want, right? Like they're biting themselves in the ass a little bit.
Like, I get it if it's a... So, like, I understand if it's a health issue, like a breathing issue. Like, I don't want you to wear a mask if it's going to hinder, like, how you breathe, because you need to breathe.
But,
to
like,
live.
also with a lot of people who actually have those... Because, like, a lot of people are just saying they have it, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not talking for everyone. I'm talking general.
Yeah.
But the majority of people who actually have those conditions are intentionally not leaving their house.
Yeah.
Because there's an airborne illness that affects the lungs.
Well, because it's dangerous for them.
Yeah, they're at higher risk, right? So it's like, most people with those actual illnesses aren't going out and yelling about the people like, why are you telling me to wear a mask?
Mm-hmm.
No, those are the people who are like afraid of those people.
Yeah. And you know what, like, even if it was a government conspiracy or whatever, I don't know what you're rolling with. It's still killing people.
I'm rolling with the one that there's a lot that are like don't get me wrong, Bill Gates is filled with controversy right now, especially with the whole Childgate thing, which I don't want to talk about on stream. Actually, we're gonna avoid that. We're gonna avoid that, but I'm sure everyone's aware of the Save Our Children. I'm fully supporting of that. But I also want to avoid that topic on stream for now until I figure out more. I don't want to spread false information about that. I believe that movement's very important, and I shouldn't be talking on it unless I know my facts 100%. But
also, I just want to quickly add in: keep signing petitions for Breonna Taylor. As you know, she didn't get her deserved justice. So it would personally mean a lot to me if you signed petitions for her.
You're already trying to pull this in power?
Well, yeah, but like,
I know. I'm sorry. I just had to throw that in there.
Yes, but like also, like 26 shots is very excessive.
You think?
And unless you are a high-profile criminal, no one has to be shot 26 times.
Even a high-profile criminal, dude, you shoot someone once and they're down. There's no way. Like, what are the odds someone gets up? Especially with, like, police aim, because police aren't Star Troopers. They don't miss. It's unfortunate, but... I don't know. The whole defund the police thing too. That's a topic.
Yeah.
That's a topic too. That like until I get information right on what people are actually doing, I do find it interesting how they want to like redirect it to maybe more social workers who can do like health checks and stuff like that rather than officers. I mean, that's a pretty cool idea. But like I said, I don't know enough information to be talking about that right now.
Yeah.
Definitely want to avoid that idea. But yeah, the main theory with the COVID is that Bill Gates is like spawned the virus. So I'm like, Bill Gates is like one of the richest people on the planet because people shop constantly. Mm-hmm. He's one of the people who wouldn't, right? Like, you know, there just makes no sense. And then they're like, oh, tracking chips in the vaccines. I'm like, what are they going to learn from a chip in your body that your cell phone, your internet search history, your Wi-Fi router, your Facebook profiles, anything isn't already going to tell them? Your shopping, like, history.
I'm on TikTok
Your
almost 24/7, so I don't know what they want to do with that information.
Your bank history, right? Like, that's why it doesn't make sense to me, because they already know everything they want to know. They already know everything they want to know. They're not going to go through the effort of spending billions of dollars to put chips in people to gain, what, their heart rate? You know?
Yeah.
If they've consumed a Coke today, like...
I've consumed probably about 48 in the past month Coke Zeros.
That's not good. Because, like, isn't that stuff they use to sweeten it, like aspartame or whatever, not good for you?
It's called an addiction.
Oh, yeah, because there's still caffeine and sugar-free.
Yeah.
Yeah, caffeine addiction's a hell of a thing. Mine definitely, it never goes away, but it definitely gets a lot worse during, like, the school semester. Especially with, like, everything being online in a post-secondary. I know some people who actually choose online school, but I'm so used to traditional learning that it's been quite difficult to adjust. I've been kind of like, I kind of dug myself into a hole. Like, this is I would consider this my recreational time. Yeah. Right? Like, I'm here to just make content, and I enjoy making the content.
Well, you have to...
I'm addicted to Coke, so I can't blame you. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola.
And before I can make any drug jokes.
Yeah, pretty much. I had to cut Elena off. I'm kind of excited for some of the interviews I have lined up for Highcast. I've been talking to a few people. I got only one guy for sure. His name's Ryan. He's a really great artist that I know. He is probably gonna get the first run of. We have a little character that we're gonna throw on some T-shirts and some merch eventually for you guys if you guys wanna like the designs and support the channel. But
if you want to simp for anyone, simp for the girl Ryan drew.
Yeah, Ryan drew this mascot, and it's this anime style girl, and I drew the original one, and then he just made it a million times better, and he'll probably get first access to the merch just because he designed it just out of his own free time, and I asked him politely if I could use it, and he said go for it. But all credits to Ryan on that one, right? Original conception. Ryan, like, made the drawing perfect. Elena picked the color palette, so... All I did was make some really crap... like...
Yes, we're talking about Coca-Cola.
No, but all this because... It started because I got an iPad for drawing and for school. And this really expensive pencil... Oh, the camera's over here. I keep looking over there thinking... Because I'm used to streaming on my gaming channel, but, like... I got this really overpriced pencil. It's really good. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing I've ever used like it. But... They definitely charge like a 4,000% upcharge on this thing. But it's nice. It's quality, I guess. It's not a complete ripoff. But, unfortunately, like, touch tablets are becoming like the artist standard nowadays. Yeah. Like, you can still get a really nice Wacom and do stuff with that, and a lot of people prefer that still.
It's just because it's easier to have your hand against something where you can actually, like, look at it straight on. Yeah. It just makes things more accurate.
There's a weird hand-eye coordination with, like, let's say a tablet like... I have it right here, actually. With a tablet like this one, which, in turn, does the same thing as this thing. But instead of looking at the screen while you draw, you'd be looking directly at the screen. There's a weird little... Oh, it's going to connect to my computer, actually. There's a weird hand-eye coordination that you have to learn with this thing to learn to do digital art. Yeah. So it's definitely making good artists better and learning digital art easier, which I'm all for, you know? So...
And then you have the people who can like draw on their phones with just their finger. Like those are the people who scare me.
Overpriced pencil.
Yeah, no, they just use a finger, and that's like the only art tool they need.
There's this guy I follow on. Oh, he followed me on Twitch first, and then I went to go check one of his streams because I was doing an art stream on my other channel, and he does like traditional art mostly. Like he has like the overview, but like a lot of the digital art he does, he draws on like an S8 phone, or like a Note Plus or something like that.
Yeah.
Like just a Samsung phone. It has a pencil that pops out of it, and it does essentially the same thing as this, but like just so little real estate. I gotta respect it.
Well, I have a friend who does the exact same thing.
Your motor skills have to be like insane though, because
Yeah.
you have such little room to work with that like you gotta be very spatial aware about where you are with like zooms and stuff. Spatially aware, I guess, because like I guess like big long lines would be kind of difficult, right? Are you good?
Caffeine.
But yeah, I'm excited to have Ryan on. I'm sure he'll talk about what it's like being an artist in this industry. He can persist. He ended up going back to school actually.
I'm proud of him.
Yeah, he went to, because he was going to SAIT with me and Elena.
He was in my program.
Yeah, me and Elena are in different programs. We both went to SAIT together, but I was in the business program and she was in new media production.
Yeah, and I thought he was one of the teachers. He wasn't, and the girl he was talking to, who I thought was a student, was a teacher, so there was that fun little tidbit.
Oh, that would have been an awkward first day.
Yeah, but Ryan and I made like really fast friends. So.
Yeah, he's a really good guy.
And then we never got put into classes with each other.
But yeah, he went back to school. He went to VCAN.
Yeah, which is like way more suited for him.
He's an artist.
Yeah, he's got really
like,
nice art.
Yeah, no, he's an artist. He has a very specific style, but he's a good overall artist as well.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he specializes in, like, a more realistic anime type style. But I've seen him do, like, more traditional looking pieces and, like, other art styles too, and he's pretty good.
I remember he did have an animation project that looked really nice. It was done during our first semester, I think, and I got to see it, and it was really well done.
Let's talk about that. How was being a post-secondary student? Like, what... Now, because, like, I'm in my last semester right now, but she finished the semester before me, so how does, like... Now, I still have school to distract me from other things, but, like, what's it like being graduated now? Like, how does it feel?
I'm depressed.
Well, not finding a job in anything,
yeah,
right? Like,
so I chose a really bad time to, like, go to school. Obviously, I didn't know. I didn't get to walk the stage. Also haven't received my diploma despite having a good GPA. I also emailed them about that. But it was just a really bad time to graduate. Like, there's barely any work. People are trying to,
Well, you still are, like, graduated officially, like, when they run checks at work.
Yeah,
and stuff,
I am.
right?
Yeah.
They just haven't sent you the piece of paper yet.
No, which, I mean, it'll tear up easily. But, like... I paid 16 grand for that piece of paper. I just want that piece of paper. But yeah, like, I don't know, I thought it was gonna be glamorous, but it's not. It's literally just going through it until you, like, find a job, even more so with COVID.
Yeah, I think that must be the hardest, because, like, say, like, they have a pretty good post-employment rate.
Yeah, because it's technical skills. You have hands-on
Yeah.
knowledge, and all of that, like, hands-on knowledge applies into, like, experience.
Yeah.
So if they ask, like, if a resume says, like, you need 2 years of experience for this, going through SAIT, because it's so hands-on, those 2 years that you're learning also counts towards that 2 years of experience they ask for on when they're hiring and stuff.
Yeah. But unfortunately, with hands-on, with something like COVID, which none of us could have predicted, really.
Yeah.
I've definitely talked to Elena and a lot of the other people I know from SAIT who graduated already. It's definitely affected every industry,
Yeah.
very much so. And now there's the issue of like these mandates make it hard for businesses to function sometimes. More hands-on business stuff definitely has more issues functioning. Like my dad works for a place where they move like safes and stuff like that, and like ATMs, which are like super heavy, but they also have to stay 8 feet apart at all times in full PPE, which makes it hard to lift heavy things.
Yeah.
Because let's say the machine's only so big, you can only fit so many people on there, but it's still a couple thousand pounds of cement, right? So they've definitely had to be creative with how they move things and how they get certain things done, right? So.
And, you know, like, that's also the thing for a lot of, just a lot of employees in general, especially younger employees with school debt that they need to pay off.
Oh, yeah, because
Another kind of debt.
I mean, Kat has been pretty good about it. What?
Is this about NMPD? A little bit earlier it was.
Rayon?
That's Ryan, isn't it?
Oh, is that Ryan? I don't know. Ryan, is that you? I don't know what Ryan's Twitch is. Yeah, new media production, which is funny because I wasn't quite sure what to register my company as in this last recent year until like Elena, and it was like once I figured out what I did and kind of lined it up with like what Elena's program was, I was like, oh, I'm a new media production company. Like that's what I'd call it, right? We do a lot of stuff, new media production stuff, right? But yeah, it was weird because like before it was like I'm a graphic designer. I also have a clothing brand, and then it went to like, oh, we can also do photography and videography, and then it's like we can pull off marketing campaigns and social media management, and it's like, what am I? You know?
Yeah.
And then we think new media production company sums it up pretty well.
Yeah.
For the most part.
So, new media production and design was a very broad. It was a very broad course, and they taught us a little bit of everything, which is really nice. Just because it's not. This is one skill I know. Like if I wanted to do something related to web, I already have knowledge to build off of, to build a website from scratch if I wanted to. I would just have to add on to it a little more.
Yeah.
To get in touch with some more modern design details.
Yeah.
And because, what is it? Web languages change quite often. Like I learned
Frequently.
HTML5, and then when HTML6 comes out, you know. So there's still there's a lot of constant learning involved with new media.
Yeah.
Just because there's
digital.
so much new technology and stuff too, right?
Yeah, like for example, I was in high school with me and a couple of my good friends of mine, Jeriel and Marty. We were all in this. Oh, and Jose. We were all in this new media not new media production. We were all in like this advanced coding like class in high school, and it like we learned a lot of valuable information that we built on over the years. I've definitely lost touch with coding languages. I believe Jeriel actually went to school for like software development, but it is constant learning because by the time we graduated, a lot of the stuff we learned was still like usable, but there was already new versions of the languages we already learned in that class, right? So it kind of it teaches you the basis so you can understand enough to learn enough, right? You have to know a certain amount to start understanding the new stuff, and that's what I think these kind of courses help us with because like, for example, like graphic design, like yeah, like you know, like CS6 is pretty similar to Illustrator, but like you can do a hell of a lot more now than you used to be able to do in like CS6, right? So, and that's only been a few years because I remember when you used to be able to buy Adobe products as like a standalone, like you could buy like Illustrator, CS, whatever, and then you just have it. Oh my god, do you remember install discs? No? Oh man, when I first started getting into computers and stuff, there was like, every computer had a DVD drive, which now most people don't even throw them into their computers anymore. But like DVD drives, and like you would buy like World of Warcraft, and you'd throw the disc in, and then if you had the expansion pack, you had to throw the expansion pack disc in and start installing, and then if you wanted to play main World of Warcraft, you had to have the main disc in. If you were in the expansion, you had to have gone to the expansion and then throw in the expansion disc, or like, it was interesting.
Now we have Steam.
Or like, there were some games, I had this really big game on, I think it was on the GameCube. It had multiple discs. It had like, it was like one of those like JRPG, super massive, like early, like good games just ahead of their time. Like it wasn't super popular.
Well, like what is it? The PS2? What's the portable? Oh yeah, the PlayStation Portable.
Yeah.
But like if that had been released around when the Switch was a thing, as opposed to like when it was released, the PlayStation Portable would have been like...
Yeah. Well, the PS Vita failed because it just had a shitty lineup. Like, people liked the console, but there was genuinely no reason to buy it. Because all you got were shitty ports of full console games. Like dumbed down versions of the games, but... Yeah. No, this like JRPG, I forget what it's called now, it's gonna bug me. But when you open the case, it first opened like this, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4 discs. And you had to play through them simultaneous, like one after the other to get the full story. And like, you couldn't play this game without a memory card. Like, which you'd want to with a game that massive, you wouldn't do it all in one sitting, but like, the game wouldn't even boot without a memory card, because it used like the memory card as like RAM, extra RAM.
Oh.
Well, and so you had to have like a free memory card almost. It took like half of a memory card space or something. It was like, what, like 36 megabytes? Isn't that big nowadays, but like I remember having like a 20 megabyte freaking PS2 memory card. Those were technology's advanced a lot. I can't believe that was like a big memory card back then.
Remember when we just had like the iPods and stuff?
I guess those aren't really a thing anymore either.
No, everyone's just got an iPhone.
Yeah, people would buy like iPod Touches and stuff, but now there's like really no point in buying an iPod Touch. Just buy an iPhone for $0 at like Virgin or something, right? It makes for a good collector's item now.
What I want are those like old Macs that people turn into like fish tanks. I wouldn't keep fish in there because that's like a way too tiny space to own any living creature.
A what? A Mac?
Yeah, have you never seen those Macs that people make into aquariums?
No.
That is totally your aesthetic, but they look so nice, and filling it with a bunch of like aquatic plants. Not fish. Fish don't belong in tiny tanks. They need big tanks. Don't put a betta in a small tank. But yeah, they look really cool. You would totally like them.
I'll definitely research them after.
It fits the vapor retro wave aesthetic.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really fond of that. Like, for those of you who have been like early adopters of Highcast and been following the social medias and stuff, that sort of like vaporwavy, retro-y kind of look, I'm fairly fond of it. Our logo is kind of more neon, but a lot of the stuff that I'm planning for it's gonna follow the more like vapor and retro wave aesthetics for sure. I am personally just like a big fan of it.
Yeah.
It's definitely good. I like it.
He likes one aesthetic. I have like 6 different aesthetics. 2 very different people, both Libras.
We're not that different.
Yeah, so if you took out our differences and we merged into one person, we would be the exact same person, but with a god complex.
That's the only thing I bring to the table is a god complex. Yeah. And it only shows up every couple months.
A depressed god complex. That's what we would be if we were like one person.
Dear God, school killed us on the inside a little bit.
I was on the inside before that.
But I digress. It's been a good experience for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, yes, I've been stressed with schoolwork and stuff, and yes, this semester sucks now because
COVID.
Yeah, I can't go there, which was most of the fun of the experience. But I definitely did enjoy like the post-secondary lifestyle.
Yeah, School
with,
is
like,
fun.
with like the clubs and all the things you can do and all the people you meet. Like I've met a few good friends now through post-secondary, and like it's a hell of an experience. I honestly enjoyed the experience. Unfortunately, COVID ruined, well, not ruined, but like the last semester of mine's not going to be the same as the rest. But like I've thoroughly enjoyed my time in post-secondary. All the stress, all the everything aside, I definitely had a good time.
And I love my friends that I got out of post-secondary.
Oh yeah, it's different than people you meet in like high school. Because yes, you'll still keep in touch with
exactly,
some high school friends. What? Ryan?
Yeah, because you can cry together. We all have the same trauma when you go to post-secondary.
We can all relate to each other at least one way.
Yeah, there was one time I broke down in the library and started crying on the floor. And that was the first time I met Nico's friends.
I remember that day because I had, before she started school, I had a bit more experience than her than in certain topics of new media production, mostly web design and coding. But now I think with the amount of school and how much I've dropped it, I'm sure you know more. But like those, like at the beginning of our school career, since I came out of that software program, and I also worked for another like graphic design like website kind of building company. She asked me for help, and I had no clue why she did it the way she did it, but apparently that's why the teacher wanted it, which was kind of frustrating to me because there was an easier way to do the whole project, but that was banned.
Ryan, I was going to go to the peer support room, but then I got too nervous to go, so I just went to the library and cried.
But yeah, and I remember there was like, was it something that just wasn't the same size or wasn't lined up for something?
Yeah, so I spent an hour trying to change the size of an image and move it over like a couple pixels. No matter what I did, it wouldn't change, or it would totally like screw up my website. So I just gave up and I started crying, and I didn't touch the assignment for a week because I was like so beaten down by it.
The worst part is like even after I looked at it, like if I did it the way that I knew how to do it, which was the way that they were not allowed to do it, it would have been an easy fix. But the way they made them do it, I guess it learns like the technical skill, because the way I do it is definitely a shortcut, but a shortcut that no one would ever notice and wouldn't affect anything. So is it really a shortcut or efficiency? That's a whole nother topic.
Nico literally looked at me, looked at my website, and looked at me, and he was like, I don't know what you did to make this happen.
I went over it. I actually went over it like as hard as I could, and I'm like, I don't understand where the problem would even begin. Like, I know how this website is built, and like I know why this is like this, but I'm like, I don't know what would cause this. I have no clue what would be causing this, because it was like in a grid too, wasn't it? Like, wasn't it like lined up? And for some reason, one was just a little bit off, and I was like,
yeah, and it just didn't work.
Instead of using like, it was so stupid, because like most website building APIs, you can just like shove it over 1 pixel or enter in the value, but for some reason you didn't have that option the way they had you do it.
And ever since then, I've been traumatized by web design. Like, it's actually really fun to design a website.
It's just different when it's a project with marks, and then all of a sudden you got like that kind of pressure on you.
The addition of marks is a lot of stress in post-secondary because you paid a lot of money, and you can't get away with like a bunch of the same shit you did in grade school. Oh yeah,
definitely. You definitely have to, I already had study habits leaving high school, but they weren't the greatest, but, once you hit post-secondary, you have to sort out, because most people have, a general idea how to study.
Yeah.
But once you hit post-secondary, you have to know how you're going to cram in, a 300-word definitions by Friday. You have to learn how to be that efficient with your time. And it's not because they're trying to be harsh on you for the most part. It's because they're just treating you like, hey, if you're going to be a specialist in this field, this is what you're expected to be able to do, right?
Ryan, we can't spill that tea. We can't spill that tea right now. Just read what he said.
Oh dear God, I want to see. Yeah.
But I do just want to say that there's only like 2 to 5 good reviews out of a bunch.
Yeah, we can't. We're gonna avoid specific names. I'm gonna actually avoid the use of the word. Like, I'm gonna admit that I'm a SAIT student right now, but like, we're gonna avoid like talking about specifics just because there is something in the student conduct code, like, you have to be very careful while you're a student, about how you talk about the school.
Yeah.
But like I said, like, I have nothing bad to say about it, so I'm not too worried, right? Like, yes, it can get stressful at times, but it teaches you to adapt, to overcome, and kind of like deal with that, right? Because if you can handle that pressure, you can handle the workplace pressure, and that's kind of like what the goal of SAIT is in general, is to like your work, like most SAIT programs, you're work ready by the time you leave school, right? Versus like some people who I know in some programs who only know their field in theory. They've never actually done many like practice.
The actual work.
Yeah. Right? Like doctors not so much, but like definitely like I know people who are like lawyers and they went to like law school and it's really good. You learn a lot, but they're like, I never went to an actual, like I've never been in an actual case. I've never sat in court. I know exactly what to do, but I've never done it. Right? And that's like a weird kind of thing that happens in some schools.
And like, well, going back to like what Ryan said about said teacher, I never actually had an individual problem with him. It was always like a group problem because, like Ryan and I had 2 very different experiences.
Yeah.
With said person, but like, he was a cool guy. He just needed to like understand how to better work with a younger generation, and that was where his flaw was.
I digress.
I mean, Elena graduated and she's breathing. Ryan, I'm just barely breathing. I have asthma.
You said that on a podcast about smoking and talking about different things. But, yeah.
But yeah, like, I got through school because I had really good friends in my program.
Oh yeah,
that were like super supportive.
That's the dope. Yeah, that's the dope thing about postsecondary is I've met some people who I'm like, damn, I'm gonna know these people in like a professional way for the rest of my life, and even as friends. Yeah. Right. Well, like, even just 4 years is a long time, and like I know I'm only going for 2. Yeah. Right, but like 2 to 4 years is a really long time, right? Yeah. For you get to meet some people and like. Especially with some of the group projects, you have to work so closely with them that you just end up knowing each other on a personal level at the end of the day because you worked a whole semester together, meeting every Saturday for the week, every week, right?
Yeah. And well, like even just people walking around in the hallways, like there were a couple times I will admit that I was crying in a corner or something, and I had people I didn't know, they were just walking by and they came up to me and they like made sure I was okay before they like left me, which was also like really nice just because. Support is support, right?
Oh yeah, when everyone's stressed.
And you need a lot of that in post-secondary.
Well, they do offer a lot too. Yeah. Right? Like that's the thing.
There's a lot of resources that you can turn to.
That like, yes, tuition is pretty high, but there is a lot you get out of it. Yeah. Like there's student benefits, student health care, there's support groups, there's like even like what I think the first therapist I've seen in years freaking was free from SAIT. Well, free because I was a student, right? So it's like. Is what it is.
Yeah. But, like, I mean, help is help.
Oh, yeah.
We could have wiped the floor together as we cried. Okay, so Ryan does the crying. I just grab him by his legs and drag his face across the floor.
Hell yeah, earn some money back. Oh, another story I want to talk about is I decided to learn how to roller skate this summer. And we actually made quite a bit of progress. I'm actually impressed with all of us because, like, I know how to rollerblade really well, but roller skates I never could get out. Like, I didn't practice with them a lot, admittedly.
Because it's hard to find them.
Yeah, when I'd go to Lloyd's, I'd use the roller skates, I'd use the roller blades, not the roller skates.
Because that's what you know.
Yeah.
But Nico literally sent a text message to our Snapchat group, and he's like, hey, get roller skates.
We're all getting roller skates.
And, like, a week later, I had roller skates.
And
And the rest of the group would have, but you can't. It's hard to get roller skates,
especially with
right now.
COVID right now. Yeah, because especially since it's such a like a dying kind of sport, right? There's
Yeah.
very few vendors and very few things. But we made a lot of progress because it started with like I have a cousin Savannah, like one of my best friends. She did like roller derby for years, so she's like super agile on skates and like knows. So I definitely got a lot of help from her. But me and Elena went from like falling on our asses, barely being able to skate, to
Dropping in at a skate park.
Yeah.
Like, that was a really exciting thing to do.
Elena learned how to drop in. I learned how to drop in. It was crazy. It's something like in 2 months, because quarantine had us like we could only hang out with like each other, right? Because like we didn't want to go out to public. We didn't want to go do anything like that. So we're like, we're gonna pick up some roller skates and we're gonna go roller skating, right? Just us, right? And that's what we did. And me, Elena, and Savannah, like, well, Savannah already knew how to roller skate, but like me and Elena made a lot of progress for a summer.
Yeah, because what is it? I couldn't even walk on the grass in the skates. But like, dropping in is such a
and
nice
then we started
feeling on
dropping in
roller
all of a
skates.
sudden. We decided one day we're gonna go to skate parks. We would go to skate parks super late because we didn't want to be in the way of all like the skater kids and stuff. Because like I used to skateboard a lot, and I definitely know how annoying it can be when people cut you off. But like people, you also have to understand that people are learning. But like I'll admit, some skaters I've met are definitely more hot-headed than others with things like that.
We've only met like nice people.
So.
And then the Chads.
And then, so we'd go super late when the skate park's mostly dead. And yeah, we'd go learn, and we'd have pretty much the park to ourselves. And we even had some guy on rollerblades come Martin.
Yeah, I grew up with Martin basically.
And yeah, he was on rollerblades, but he was definitely more ballsy than us at the beginning. He was like the first guy to try dropping in.
Yeah. He had no fear. He and Savannah got along really well because Savannah kept like teaching him a bunch of tricks and stuff.
Because he wasn't afraid to full ascend. He wasn't afraid of like after you fall the first time, it's not bad. But like up until then, me and Elena hadn't biffed it that hard yet on anything.
I actually ended up falling right here on my chest when I was skateboarding, and I couldn't breathe for like a solid 5 minutes, and I just lay in the grass like dying, and no one could see me. If I had hit my head where I did, like no one would have watched, like no one would have seen me, and I would have died.
Ooh, my tablet's like lagging. Well, yeah. So the way High Guys is gonna work, every couple 45 minutes, couple hours, whenever we start feeling it, we're gonna definitely take some breaks to go get more spiritual outside because we cannot smoke indoors. And we will be right back with the content. That also gives you guys breaks to go to the bathroom, gives us a break to grab some drinks, and we'll be back in about 15 to 20 minutes. I just gotta walk over here, shut off the screen.
We're still working on our setup, but we're mostly there. We'll have it back up next time.
And we are live.
What's up, gamers? It's your boy.
Watch out, I don't want to knock your phone off. It's your boy, Skinny Penis. Remember when that was a meme?
Yeah, I said that earlier.
Oh. Well, can we talk about how Reddit doesn't want to let Rickrolls die? Like,
I
ever?
don't want to let Rick die either.
Like, you'll be in, like...
Do you know some guy actually claimed to, like, be the first one to do a Rickroll? Sorry, we hear children giggling somewhere.
I think that's the tablet. Yeah, that's the tablet.
Okay, hold on, technical issues.
I think we might have turned on the volume at some point because the volume... I don't know, the iPad's volume buttons are in a weird place, actually. I find myself hitting them all the time when I'm, like, using it in, like, when I'm drawing on my lap or something like that.
So I was the giggling child, apparently.
But, yeah, the iPad's volume buttons are in a weird place. Like, when you work on it on your lap, I find that I hit them a lot. I think that's
the volume button?
Yeah. Because I think Elena jumped on it while outside. I think that's what happened, too, because it happens to me all the time.
I was playing on it while we were outside.
But, I don't know. We'll start the topic off with pre-COVID. I got... or not pre-COVID, like once COVID started, I got temporarily laid off at this internet cafe that I worked at, which was like my favorite childhood hangout spot. This was like the best place to work. I was able to get schoolwork done. There was great people there, right? And, you know, as long as you did your tasks, the job was relatively, you know, ran off without a hitch. There wasn't many problems, many anything, right? It was a pretty good environment. But it was an internet cafe, and unfortunately, it seems like internet cafes are kind of dated in the East, or no, in the West, because they're still popular. Like my Uncle Ray, he went to China to go teach for a couple years, and he said they're very popular in places like that. But just in North America, I guess enough people have access, or enough people want to play games. The games that they want to play are optimized well enough that most things can run them nowadays, right? That just made like internet cafes and LAN gaming like kind of obsolete. So once COVID started and we had to close down for a little bit, unfortunately that was it for the business. It was pretty sad because it was like, I think that place was like the thing that like got me into technology. Walking into that place and seeing all these at the time, super high tech, super high end computers, I was like entranced by the place. But fortunately, it had to come to an end, but, you know, I met some great people working there, and it's just, you know, sucks that it's gone. But that's, like, crazy, because COVID, like, this story isn't just, like, my story.
Yeah.
With COVID, like, this has happened to so many smaller businesses, so many people, right?
Well, like I said, I'm very food-driven, and a bunch of my favorite restaurants closed down.
Yeah.
Chianti's, the one up by Sunridge.
It's down?
Yeah, they totally closed it down. And I used to go there every year for my birthday because that was my favorite place to eat. One of my friend's brothers worked there, and we got along really well with him and his family. So like it was always nice to see him there, and now it's gone.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, yeah, it's kind of like, it sucks that this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
But at least now governments can have plans put in place. Because, like, I think preemptive to this, like, yes, countries had plans for things like this, but nothing at this scale.
Yeah.
Right? They weren't prepared to have to quarantine a whole country and supplement its own economy for months on end, right? But at least now with, like, this happening, they have the experience, and now that if this, heaven forbid, this ever happens again in our lifetimes, they'll definitely be more prepared, hopefully, to handle a situation like this.
Something that's kind of interesting is, like, a lot of physical, like, in-person businesses have closed down, but I've actually seen, like, a lot of, like, online shops and things start to thrive during and throughout COVID.
Oh, yeah, like
a bunch of handmade jewelry, like, makeup products and stuff have had their sales go up a lot.
Oh yeah, well, e-commerce has definitely taken a big like stride. Like Amazon's warehouses were overloaded for a bit because they were having trouble balancing the amount of orders and COVID regulations in various countries that they operate in, right?
But Amazon always came through for me.
But like it's crazy, yeah. E-commerce has like definitely had a bit of a boom. Let's say more people are staying at home and shopping online. Like, even with Twitch, like, I've noticed on my gaming channel, which I've been working at for a couple months now, right? Like, my viewers have gone up, and, like, even this stream, right? Like, I media blast all my streams the same way I media blast this podcast. Actually, I made a whole page for this podcast, I'll admit. I did I put a lot more effort into this podcast because I just want to be able to, you know, give people a platform to talk on, right? Any topic, anything, we want to be able to throw it on the table, you know, like for fun topics, like difficult topics, sometimes we definitely want to just keep the platform open. But like even this stream, you know, I think we peaked at like 13 people concurrent, right? And we've had 28 unique listeners in 3 hours. That's huge. That's huge for a first episode podcast, right? Like the algorithms are against you on that one. Like I think even like I think there's even like Cypress Hill's podcast on tonight. So like they run a similar type thing, sort of. They smoke pot, and then they talk about various subjects too, more pertaining to like their personal experiences, of course, but like, you know.
Yeah. Well, like even if this doesn't gain traction, it's fun for Nico and I because, like, for one, we're best friends.
Oh yeah, we've known each other a very long time.
Yeah, like I've gone through a bunch of stuff because of this guy right here. So, like, if it doesn't gain traction, it's just us having fun.
Oh, yeah.
Talking with each other, and then talking to people we know. Sometimes people we don't know, because, you know, like, random people can hop in if they want.
Oh, yeah.
And Nico and I just like to talk, like, just to each other. Like, we'll call each other and we'll just start screaming on the phone. That's happened happened a couple times.
It's usually one or the other. Whoever's calling's about to scream. It's usually like if I call Elena, right? She'll answer. It's just me heavy breathing after like let's say like my statistics final, right? Or like vice versa. Like I answer the phone, all I hear is like, huh. On the other side of the line.
And like it's funny because it used to be me calling him from high school until my third semester of school, where I would just call him like in tears, like, bro, I need you to call, like, we gotta go somewhere, like, I gotta do something. I would be in tears, everything would be ruined, and then like this guy would just come pick me up. So like, it's nice for us to just chill with each other.
And you know, if some people find this interesting, that's more the merrier, right? Like, we tend to talk about certain topics that may not be talked about a lot. So, you know, if someone, like, has, like, the same feelings or, like, maybe the same idea, like, it's nice to know that, like, mayhaps it's not... I just said mayhaps. Mayhaps, you know, at least they can relate to it on a bare minimum level, right?
And, you know, like, everything's not all sunshine and roses. Like we have a lot of fun when we're together. But, like, what a lot of people who know us personally don't know is that we've also had some really dark things happen to us where we just kind of, like, hey, bro, like, things aren't going well right now. Can we just talk? Like, you don't even have to talk to me. I just need you to, like, sit on the phone and be here for me for a little bit.
And then those times got even more and more with, like...
And then school just kind of, like, took all of that and punched us in the face and in the gut, like, repeatedly.
And, like, Elena's pretty much been my business partner almost from, like, after my first year. The moment she went into new media production, she immediately started, like, helping out with the business stuff. So now she gets those stresses, too. Now she feels that stress, right? Because she's, like, directly involved. Like, this... It's mostly been, like, my company and then me and Elena 50-50 a lot of the work because we have complementary skill sets to each other. But I think this is, like, the first project we've done where it's, like, an actual, like, it's, like, 50-50. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I'm running the social media on this account, the Instagram account, because I actually managed to tie this in with a school project of mine. I have this project that's kind of about, like, social media and, like, kind of new, like, integrated marketing technologies and stuff like that. And this project's pretty cool because we have to kind of see how to raise numbers on social media and if there's an actual strategy or if there is. And I believe there is. Mm-hmm. And it's definitely shown with this stream and everything. So it's, like, it's, you know... And I'm just glad. I think it's what gave us the final push to finally do this, because this was like an idea floating around, but the moment I brought up I could tie this into school, me and her kind of conceptualized the whole thing by getting high and creating Highcast. We pretty much created all the logos and everything in one, like, manic night. Like, you were at my house, like, she was here, like, the whole fucking day almost. Like, she was here till, like, late.
Yeah, so how this basically all started, aside from him talking about it a lot, is I had just come over. We were doing groceries. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were doing some groceries and errands together because, like, I don't know if this is kind of weird, but I just really like doing groceries and stuff with friends. Mm-hmm. Like, I like going to places like Walmart and stuff and just, like, walking around and looking at things. Like Walmart, Superstore. I just like going in.
It doesn't have to be a chore, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can go have fun. Like, that's what we did that day.
Yeah.
Definitely got some things done.
Yeah, and we got a lot done, actually. And we ate some good food. And we came back home. It was pretty late. and I think we were gonna play the Switch. And Nico was like, "Do you want to go smoke first before we do anything?" I was like, "Okay." And we had just had Boston pizza, so we went outside and we smoked. And we thought we were just gonna chill, but Nico looks at me and he looks me dead in the eye and he's like, "Hey, do you wanna go work on the podcast?" and so we worked for like 3 hours straight after he said that. And finally it was like, "Oh, we're in too deep."
We realized how many eventually, like, you know, that 3 hours turned into a couple hours, turned into like what? You've been here 2-3 times now, like just working on like a conceptual like clothing piece that's not gonna come out for another month or two.
Yeah, and
like we've been planning like if you guys want to stick around, we got some cool shit planned.
Like we're all over the place right now, but I actually have a lot of notes, and I'm a little bit camera shy. Like I don't do well interacting a lot, but like the more comfortable I get, it's a little easier to like settle down into this and not be super weird and super energetic or too quiet.
Yeah, like that was something I was like kind of concerned about before this podcast that I didn't quite bring up. I was like, how are we gonna like? Because I'm pretty used to like just talking in front of groups and like I stream and like, you know, with my business program, there's literally moments when you're standing in rooms full of people presenting for like an hour.
And
right?
The same with my program too. Like
it definitely
SAIT is a lot of get up and present what you did, which is
good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Because if you were like me, like I used to, my hands would shake really badly during presentations, and I couldn't get a single thought out. But after SAIT, it's like I can do this whole like 12-minute presentation. I don't need notes. I don't need to read off a screen. Like I can just do it, and I'm okay.
I find I learned this kind of through because I was part of this group called Toast at the beginning of SAIT.
Toast.
Because I didn't really have a lot of friends in my program. I had like one main group, and then I would hang out with mostly Elena's group.
Yeah.
And our schedules near, I think it was second or third semester.
There was actually one project we were all doing, and Nico was in almost half the class's photos.
Yeah, the teacher was probably, it was like a photography project, and I'm like, I wonder if the teacher's ever been grading, and like, who the hell is this guy? He's in all my student stuff all the time.
Yeah, and he's seen Nico in the classroom too, so.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I mostly hang out with like the new media production kids for like most of my high school career. Like I have one good group of people from SAIT, well, 2 now. But the original group I had for like, because the first year was a lot of general, so we all had different majors, but we were all in the same classes. It was like this guy named Dean, Irina, and Miranda. Unfortunately, since we all have different majors, we don't really got classes together anymore. But then I started hanging out more with these guys like Austin, Happy, Mo, and Chris and Christian, and they're pretty cool too. Like, definitely, like, you know, I've met some people. Like, we've been trying to plan like a drinking day though, but like. Yeah. The adult life really gets to people, you know.
With COVID, adult life with COVID.
Well, even before COVID, we tried to hang out a few times. It's like, it's so hard to like schedule more than 3 people.
It's all the schoolwork,
right? Like, school work, and then like everyone else got lives, right? So it's so hard, like.
It piles up.
And then the one time I was supposed to go on like a hike with like Miranda and like Dean and Irina and all of them, I ended up flopping because I ended up having a family thing that I just didn't know about. Right. I got told like the day of. They were like, "Oh yeah, it's your cousin's birthday." And I'm like, "Huh, I'm a bad cousin." Literally, like, shit. I was like deadass like 5 minutes away from leaving to the mountains, dude. I was about to be gone. I was about to be a no-show.
For your own cousin's birthday.
But yeah, definitely. Reading notes, I find, can like throw people off.
Yeah, and then you sound robotic. Like there's a certain monotone and roboticness when you're reading off of a script, as opposed to here's 1 to 3 words describing like what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
And then just going off those 3 words.
Yeah, because like I find that if you know, like if you're presenting.
Hi, Savannah.
Hey, Savannah, how's it going, bro? I was just talking about you.
Read chat.
What does it say?
She says read chat. Hi. Talkers.
But you missed it, Savannah. We had a pretty lively chat before our break. I'm hoping it gets back up there again.
I gotta send you something later.
Who will Savannah?
Savannah, yeah. Okay, but anyways, continue.
The number of simps. But yeah. If you know, like, if you're presenting, you should know the material enough that you shouldn't need notes anyways. But that's like more of a school thing. But like, I also find, like, let's say you do a presentation and someone asks you a question instead of during the question time. They ask you like midway through.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if they ask you like midway through, it will like throw off, if you're reading off notes and you don't actually know the material, it's gonna like throw you off and you're gonna stutter and stuff. And I had this really good communications teacher actually. His name was David, and
mine was Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's the only class I've ever had in the hospitality building.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a really old building, actually, compared to the rest of the campus.
But it's getting updated now, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
But, he'd intentionally, like, he wasn't mean about it, and he was a very, like, friendly guy. Like, he had, like, white hair, and he had a very, like, you know, he was very, like, soft-spoken, I guess. Right? But, like, powerful. Like, I don't know how to explain it. He wasn't loud, but, like, he was very, like...
commanding.
Yeah. Right? And,
Savannah, you're my favorite simp.
But he would intentionally ask, like, just casual questions midway through, like, people's presentations, and eventually, like, everyone in that class, like, he didn't even make us buy the textbook, even though there was a textbook needed for, like, some of the questions. But by the time we got to the final, it was, like, everyone knew the stuff off by heart. Cause he was a pretty good teacher. And all of us came out, even the international students who, like, definitely struggled in, like, communications courses and presentation courses a bit more, he made them better speakers, and he also just boosted their confidence. Like, he was, like, a really good teacher.
Well, like, a good communication teacher is really nice because, like, in my experience, we had a lot of international students in our class. And when you look at the first presentation they did compared to their final presentation that semester, like, the difference in, like, everyone's difference, like, not just the international students, but the difference in how people presented was, like, it was...
night and day almost, right? Like, I witnessed that too.
Like, it went from holding scripts up to your face like this to just getting rid of the whole script, making complete eye contact with everyone you looked at, which is like another thing people struggle with.
Yeah. I still cheat with the eye contact a little bit. I scan foreheads, like, because I've been taught that, like, movement's pretty important to, like, kind of, like, keep attention.
It engages.
Yeah, because people are pretty, like, easy to be distracted. So if you're pacing and being the center of attention, and, like, owning like your platform, it's pretty good, right? And it's like, I forget where I was going with that.
Instead of watching someone or something that's stiff.
Oh yeah, like they were like pacing and walking the stage, like, right?
You just kind of automatically. Your brain just wants to focus on what's moving instead of what's not moving.
Mm-hmm. And, like, I don't know, one of my favorite tips is, like, move around the room but always rest in the same spot. That's a really good tip. It just, you know, it keeps you centered so you don't get lost in it. Like, you can do it kind of passively.
Or you, like, even if it's just, like a lecture, lectures are boring. There's no way to splice that. Like, a lecture's gonna be boring. But at least watching someone move around, or, like, there's something on the screen moving around, it keeps you a little more...
grounded.
Yeah, and into what is actually happening as opposed to doing something like falling asleep.
Yeah.
Or just texting the whole class.
Or going on Reddit.
I
had this really bad habit my first year. I lost it after the first year because I'm like, okay, I gotta pay attention, I'm gonna fail. But, like...
the first year's always the easiest one, too, so it's like...
So, I got away with, like, scrolling through Reddit through, like, some of the more boring classes. Like, they were informationful, but, like, unfortunately, a lot of the stuff you couldn't learn, like, in a more practical way. It was just, you had to know it, right? Yeah. And, yeah, definitely found myself, like... Lots of Reddit, lots of Instagram. Browser Instagram sucks. I don't know why they don't optimize it better.
Yeah.
Like, why can't you upload a photo like natively? Like, why do you got to do that stupid inspect, switch device, and then refresh?
Well, especially for artists, because a lot of people just keep their files, like for
Even photographers
people
though,
like
too,
me,
right?
who's like working. Yeah, photographers too, because a lot of stuff
DSLRs.
is done through the computer, just because like that's the fastest way. Like iPads and stuff are great. Computers just
Yeah.
better.
Like, yeah, all the art I do on my iPad's like backed up to the cloud because I don't actually deal with files on the iPad file system,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's not the greatest environment.
Yeah.
Definitely could have had some improvements made over the years. They're making them more like laptops, though. I've noticed a few updates. I'm like, I can plug a mouse into my iPad now, and it's like fully functional.
Mhm.
Like keyboards now. I'm like, what?
Oh, I always used like Bluetooth keyboards
Mm.
for my phone because there was a point in time where I had tablets, but they always broke, and I didn't have a phone at that time, so I would just go out and buy like a blue. It still works to this day. I just don't have any batteries for it. But I have this Bluetooth keyboard that is like my thick and thin when I don't want to like text on the phone screen.
Well, yeah, I don't know. That's definitely faster too.
Kaylin said Nick should have people be able to send in videos. He
I-
has a legendary video of an incident that happened at McDonald's yesterday.
Oh! Kaylin, am I allowed to talk about that? You have to give me the okay in chat if I'm allowed to talk about the. Was it the incident with the vehicle? I won't talk about it more if I don't have permission because I don't know like if that's like. Gotta be sure sometimes, you know what I mean? McDonald's, I have some crazy stories from McDonald's, but
Kagan
like.
says GTA.
I definitely have some stories from McDonald's for sure. I was a night shift manager for a while there. That was fun. I honestly enjoyed working for McDonald's, and like if I didn't go back to school, I'd probably still be
He
working
says
there.
you can, but you can't share the video.
Okay, perfect. So, yesterday I'm just sitting there playing Among Us after I did some homework, and I get a message from we have like this weird group chat of like current and ex McDonald's employees and stuff. It's a really weird group because it started off as like a work group chat with like half the people don't even work there anymore. But and then the ones who do, they all work in different locations now. But all of a sudden, like Halen's like it's like GTA in real life or something, right? And like some dude got like hit by a car,
Oh.
like right outside the McDonald's after. I think if I heard it right, I could be wrong. Kaylin, correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but like a Uber or a Skip driver got his car stolen and then got hit or something
Oh my
like
god.
that. And like it shut down like that whole complex over by I'm not gonna name locations,
Yeah.
but like by the McDonald's I used to work at.
Uh-huh.
And like he sent a picture of the parking lot and like they had everything boarded
Was
off.
the guy okay?
I have no clue.
Kaylin, was the guy okay?
And what did Gagan say?
Uber them some crown.
I actually have a Crown bottle and I stubbed my toe on it the other day and like it like shot across the room.
Can we try breaking it?
Later. But like it literally I accidentally like punted it towards my door and it like dented the metal door. Like I don't know what those balls are made of, but like
Which door?
that one there's like a little like nick at the bottom. Cuz like it was on
Only you?
it was on the ground right there because like I have like a little collection of like pop figures and like some empty liquor bottles just for like decor, I guess I'll call it. And I got up and kicked it one day by accident. It just hurt.
What's your toe doing?
It hurt. Actually, I think it might fall off, but we're not going to show that on camera.
Speaking of toes,
Stop.
I actually almost lost my pinky toe.
Oh, okay. I thought we
Yeah.
were going with the.
No.
Okay.
No. I almost lost my pinky toe during middle school PE. I was running around without shoes because I was being a little shit and didn't want to put shoes on. And one of my friends stepped on my toe and I turned the wrong way. And my pinky toe like ripped to the bone and I had to go get like 15 stitches in it. And I have no feeling in my pinky toe to this day.
Have you ever like stubbed it and
Oh, you
injured
did.
it without noticing?
The 70-year-old guy is in life-threatening condition, but skip guy is critical. Oh, I hope you're okay.
Holy.
That's terrible.
I wish them the best then. Holy, I didn't realize that's how that happened.
Oh, I hope they're okay. I'm sad.
I saw some weird things at that McDonald's though. I remember the high school kids. The camera's picking up the boxes. She's like playing with an empty pizza box under the table, and I'm looking at the audio mixer over here, and like,
Yeah, I get distracted.
I'm like,
really
what is
easily.
this noise that's picking up? Elena's like crinkling the box under the table. But where was I going at that?
McDonald's, the high school kids.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so the after high school rush, that was like probably one of the busiest times that restaurant ever got. There's this high school somewhere close to the restaurant, and it during lunch break and during after school they show up. And lunch break's not too bad. Usually, since they have a limited amount of time, right? You'll get all the kids who just want to get a quick meal. We get them out quick. They usually order something small, right? And then, you know, the kids who don't care and skip, or the kids with spares or whatever, stick around a little bit longer, sometimes order bigger meals. Mm-hmm. But the after school one, everyone's like hanging on and doing everything, right? And I remember the craziest thing that ever happened was I walk outside because there's a disturbance. The high school kids are fighting with like this like Karen lady. And like, I'm going to use the word Karen, okay? Because she was like a Karen. Like, I had to deal with her 5 minutes before this, and she was complaining about how loud the high school kids were. And I asked the high school kids very nicely to quiet down, and they usually did, right? It was like a mutual respect thing. And, you know, but they're still kids. They'll still get rowdy here and there, right? And the lady, like, said something to one of the girls about, like, going back to your country or something.
Ooh.
And I was like, what? Because, like, the kids came and told me after this lady left, and they're like, what's her face is gonna go fight the lady. I'm like, no. Not in the McDonald's, not here. And freaking this lady got in the car and then, like, almost hit this kid. Like, she, like, jumped in her car and, like, slammed it into reverse.
God.
And I'm sitting there, like, and then the girl, like, freaking hit the windshield, and then I had to call the cops. And, like, it was crazy. It was a crazy situation. And, like, this was, like, in a matter of, like, 30 minutes. Meanwhile, like, the guys inside had no clue what's going on because I'm too busy trying to stop these kids from, one, breaking this woman's windows. Two, I'm trying to, like, get them out of the way because, like, this lady's gonna hit somebody. And it was a crazy... I don't even know what... I don't know what happened after, because once the cops showed up, I had to go back to work, right? Like, the cops showed up and they talked to the kids, the people more involved, right? I was just like, hey, I just came out. This is what I saw. I gotta go. Yeah. Right? But that was crazy. And then there was, like, the occasional, like, high school fight in the parking lot. Those were semi-typical sometimes. The last year I was there, they got pretty bad, but that was... I have no clue why that was. Egos. I remember high school egos. I had one. I definitely had one.
I don't think I got one until later on, possibly.
Did someone send something new in the chat? No.
Kaylin's paragraph.
But yeah, that was an interesting situation, and like I don't even know if I was a manager yet. I think I might have only been like a guest experience leader or something like that. Like I was one of the people who like greeted you at the McDonald's when you walk in for a couple months. I was that.
Oh, when you guys had the new machines.
They still have them technically. They're still supposed to, as far as I know.
Oh, okay.
But like, yeah, they're to help people use the kiosk and try to help you like hit certain things, right? Because like there's certain numbers you want to hit on certain things, and like just normal, you know, company tracking stuff, right? But yeah. Oh no, but working at McDonald's was actually a pretty good experience for me.
Ooh, my laptop.
If I could have made it like work, I probably would have stayed there longer.
Yeah.
But unfortunately with school, and then I was night shifts, I couldn't make it work. And then I went on a temporary leave that turned into a forever leave. Mm-hmm. Once school started, I realized I couldn't, like, you know, even do like the 6 to whatever shifts. Yeah. Just because of how much time school was taking up.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Is your laptop about today?
Yeah.
Rotate for the tablet, I guess.
Rotate for the tablet, okay.
Yeah. I'll keep the party going, I guess.
Sorry, we're just having some technical difficulties.
Note to self, we're gonna get some more extension cables for next stream. Because my main setup can't move, and that's kind of what we're streaming off of right now. So that's why you guys see me like look at the camera to the left a little bit, because I have my screen set up there and I can see the volume mixer and some more technical stuff. And then to keep interactive with the chat, we want to yeah. I was gonna say with like to keep it up with the chat, we want to have something here, but like Twitch is taking up a lot more battery life than I would have imagined. And it's definitely more intensive than YouTube, but I think maybe because it's a live streaming service. We're also going to start posting the audios of these, edited audios. We're going to leave out the breaks and some of the more, comment section related things. But we're going to be posting these on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and stuff like that. We were going to premiere with them tomorrow, but tomorrow we're only going to premiere on YouTube because the hosting service I wanted to use changed its terms of service and I didn't quite like them. So, are you looking for a plugin?
No.
What are you doing? She's like sneaking around the fucking room for some reason. Like, you guys couldn't see it, but she walks around the table like Snake from Metal Gear Solid sneaking, and I'm like, I don't know.
That's why I usually win Among Us games. I'm sneaky.
But you aren't. She's also like the first person to vote you off if you're an imposter with her. Like, if they suspect you instead of her right away, she's like, it must have been Nico. And I'm like, I'm sitting there in my head like, you killed them. I watched you kill them. Yes, I am also an imposter, but you killed them.
Yeah, but that just means I'm doing my job better than you are.
What are you doing?
You know?
But, I don't think that's the right thing.
Sorry, it's very obvious. This is our first time.
Yeah, this is the first time in, like, podcast platform for sure.
But also, if you haven't played Among Us, you should definitely play Among Us. It's a really simple game, but for something so simple, it's really fun, and it can keep you, like, entertained for hours if you've got a really good group and you don't have anything to do the next day.
Did Rajan offer me 30 for 20? No, he hasn't asked me for money in a while. I have no clue why I did. We'll talk about that later in the Discord. But yeah, he's definitely offered me things like this.
I don't think they can see this. We see everything.
Oh no, I just got back into the stream now. We just had to switch out devices. You'll see us look down at the table when we're looking at comments and stuff, but we'll try to keep the focus here. The setup's definitely going to improve over time as well. I eventually want to invest in a better lighting solution right now.
We've already started looking into better lights.
And a better camera, because we're using a decent camera right now, but I definitely want to bring it up to, like, production quality. You know what I mean? Definitely, because I know this camera has quite a bit of gain and, like, graininess to it sometimes. Yeah. Especially when the light starts changing a little bit. Like, I've noticed, like, our lighting's changed just because it got dark outside. Mm-hmm. But I digress. We're gonna improve over time. Like I said, we're hopefully gonna do this. This can be kind of like a session for us because it's nice to just catch up on the days of the week and everything. Right? Friday seems like a good day to get things done.
Like for the weekend start.
There might be a bit of rescheduling on my birthday weekend, but that's about it. We'll definitely do a stream, but that stream might be on a Thursday or a Sunday because I'm turning 21. I may not be able to go to Vegas, but I'm sure as hell gonna have a good time.
We definitely can't go to Vegas.
Can't go to Vegas, but we're gonna have a good time, man. Not the D-O-double-D Snoop Jug. Actually, yeah, Snoop Dogg has a podcast like this. It's not as regular as it used to be. But
Have you heard Snoop Dogg's like Christmas singing?
Snoop Dogg has Christmas singing?
Yeah, he did it in Pitch Perfect, but like I actually kind of like it when he sings Christmas songs. His voice is actually like kind of really soothing.
He's also in the new SpongeBob movie. I went to go see the SpongeBob.
Remember the one with David Hasselhoff?
Yes.
Legendary.
Yeah. Me and my friend Kristen hadn't hung out in a while, so me and her decided to go to a movie a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up going seeing the new SpongeBob movie, which I was unaware there even was a new SpongeBob movie. But I'm not going to give any spoilers because that's just a dick move. But some of the people you'll see in the movie, it has nothing to do with the plot, I guess. But you'll see Snoop Dogg, Keanu Reeves, and Danny Trejo.
That's a really weird
Right?
cast.
And like it's such a good movie. Like it's a kids movie, but they do make it entertaining for the adults as well. And like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, and what's a kids movie without like a little bit of entertainment for adults? Look at what all the innuendos Disney has.
There was a lot more than a little entertainment. It was so good. I didn't even know movie theaters were open. I was so paranoid, but like we were the only ones in the theater. Like they have it set up so you can only do two. Right, so it's like two,
Yeah.
and
To maintain distance.
but like you can only have two groups of two in a row. So like there was like one other group in the theater with us, like 3 rows down.
Really?
So I was like, I'm fine. And then like the people came in right away and like sanitized. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Still wear a mask in and out, obviously, right? But
And it's actually, I haven't been to a theater yet, but it's probably like nice to be in a not so.
oh yeah,
crowded theater.
it's definitely nice. It's a lot quieter. You don't feel as claustrophobic. You don't have to like arm wrestle for armrests.
Especially for like people with anxiety and stuff.
Oh yeah, you never. There's at least always one armrest on each side for each person.
Yeah.
Right. Like the middle one, you guys still might fight over, but you don't have to fight on both sides. And
But
like,
at least you'll be fighting with someone you know.
I've ended up in movies this was like when I was younger. Now I like make sure to like dominate an armrest. I pick left or right, but like I remember when I was younger, like sometimes it'd be like my dad beside me and then like some other person. I'm just sitting there like tucked in, like uncomfortably tucked. Like I was smaller, so it wasn't like squeezing, but like definitely I'm like, what do I do with my hands?
Rest them on your knees, really.
Like my
casual,
drink's still on the side of the stranger. Like what do I do?
Just elbow them out of the way.
The OG Highcast. Yeah, Snoop Dogg probably was the OG Highcast. There's a guy from Cypress Hill who does it now too. He does like a podcast. I forget what member of Cypress Hill, but one of the members from that group. They definitely do indulge in cannabis products on stream.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe once the weather gets nice, or if I set up my garage properly.
I don't think the weather's gonna get nice.
Yeah.
It's almost fall.
Well,
actually, I think it is fall now, isn't it?
yeah, but like if I set up the garage properly or something, or the spare storage, we definitely can smoke on stream and have less of these breaks, right? Because that's what the breaks are for. We're not gonna lie to you. We're getting some more drinks and we're getting some food and some cannabis in our systems.
Yeah, Nico and I have already gone through 2 pizzas. I alone have gone through 1 pizza myself and a couple breadsticks.
I guess Friday's the cheat day. Holy, I just realized, yeah, we've gone through quite a bit of munchies today.
Yeah, remember when we went to Vern's and I just kept eating pizza?
Vern's Pizza's so good, though. There's this place in my city called Vern's Pizza, and it's like, if you order their meat lovers pizza, it's like layers of meat, and then sauce, like, in between the layers of meat, and then there's, like, a thick layer of cheese on top covering everything, and it's, like, the best. And, like, it's kind of on the pricier side, but, like...
But it's a heavy pizza.
Yeah, I think, like, a large pizza's, like 20-something pounds or something like that. It's insane. It's well worth the money if you get the large, at least.
Well,
but you gotta feed an army with that thing.
When I was in Vegas a couple years ago, there was actually like this one pizza that the guy warned us to like use both hands because it was so heavy. And the cheese was on the middle, like it was in the middle of the pizza.
Where?
So it was a pretty thick pizza. It was about like this thick.
But like what place?
It was in Vegas.
Oh yeah.
But it was about like this thick. It was like basically a cake. And I opened the
Italian
box.
cake?
Yeah, I opened the box. I was like, "Where's the cheese?" Because I love cheese, dude. And so there wasn't cheese on it, and I was really depressed. I took a bite out of the pizza, and the string of cheese comes out, and I've never been so happy. But for so it was like that thick, right? And then it was like I can't do a circle right now, but it was a pretty big size.
Nice.
And the guy passes it to my brother, and my brother goes like, "Oh shit!"
He almost drops it.
Yeah, because it was like a really heavy pizza, but I think it was one of the best pizzas I've ever had.
Maybe we'll try to get your brother or Ishman or someone on here. Talk about like hype beast stuff. Cause like I don't know, Ishman's not a hype beast. Like my friend Ishman, he likes nicer brands. He dresses really nice, right? But then like your brother dresses really nice too. But your brother also dresses in like some nice ass shoes and shit, right? Like it's
in like a street fashion almost kind of way.
Different styles, but they're both equally nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, because that would be something to talk about. Sure, like I definitely know some guys who have issues like dressing. I remember when I was in like high school, I was like, what the fuck do I wear? I wore like the just jeans and a t-shirt for like the first 2 years of high school, and then I started like, I can look nice.
Only wore jeans and a t-shirt for the first 2 years of high school.
Yeah, but like I definitely know that like it's a skill. It's a skill to be able to like dress nice, like.
And it's a needed skill when you're in post-secondary.
Oh yeah, you have to dress like I have days where technically my whole program I'm always supposed to dress like business casual at minimum.
Yeah, ours was like way more relaxed than you.
Yeah, but like there was days where we
casual.
there was days where we could get away with it depending on the profs, but like mandatory business casual for the most part, and anytime you have a presentation it's business formal. And I definitely
Kagan donated $1. Can you show an image on stream?
Can I show an image on stream? Thank you for the $1 again, and unfortunately, no. I will get all that stuff. I was unsure if there was going to be a demand for that, so I didn't have it set up. Because you can do like media share with donations and stuff like that, and I can also pull up a web browser, so I might have to connect my tablet to my computer. Mm-hmm. But for next stream, I can make sure I have that all set up, media shares and things like that, and then like. If you guys want me to pull up a link or something like that, I could definitely have it set up where I can do that. Because unfortunately, with the setup we have right now, my computer is about 6 feet away from me, 7 feet away from me, and I have no way to share my screen since we're connected directly to the camera and mic only. Unfortunate. I'm heated right now. Yeah. Right, Leo? Oh, yeah, we have this, I worked with this guy at McDonald's named Leo, and he's, this, I don't know, there was, a few of the managers at the location I was at, Leo, Richard, Kaylin, Aiden, a few of these managers, they were, they were managers, then they were well-respected, and they did their jobs fucking well. Leo and Richard were, they didn't have to talk, and they could run the whole restaurant, without, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. For example, when I had, co-nights with Stanford, me and Stanford would, argue about how we're going to lay out the employees tonight and do breaks. But, these guys were just, a well-oiled machine. And then, Kaylin, you know what I mean? They're all really good at their jobs. That's why, a lot of them are salary managers now. I don't know how many anymore, but, Kaylin and Leo for sure, right? But it was crazy. It was crazy how well they did their job, Then there was this other guy, I forget his name, but he did, a lot of, the maintenance stuff around. Mm. He never really worked in the front and stuff. He's occasionally helped in the kitchen. But we had this thing called Brower, and that's when we would get, a new shipment of food in. Mm-hmm. And this dude would, we had to rotate, obviously, health and safety, obviously, rotate our food properly and everything. And he would pull out everything, and he'd, stack these things, magically. He'd throw them so gently. But, they'd stack themselves.
Really?
He'd stack them, and then he'd, put the rotated ones, you know what I mean, in the front. And, mm-hmm. It was the fastest thing, and it was, wasn't a lot. We had, fries-wise, McDonald's goes through a lot of fries. It was, taller than me, and, all the, I would say our fries section would have been, from that door, mm-hmm. straight across and back.
Holy crap.
Right? It was all just fries. I was holy shit. But oh, Nelson. Was it Nelson? Is that Nelson? Yeah, Nelson, dude. Nelson was a fucking magical creature of McDonald's. I witnessed this man do some things that I didn't think were possible. Okay, so he had, like, for example, he had, like, one of our, like, indoor trash bins outside one day. I'm like, what is he doing? Because I'm showing up to work. And then all of a sudden I see him, he's going through the restaurant and stacking the garbage bags on top. So instead of, like, doing, like, a big trip where you have to take the garbage and then you have to throw it in, like, the bin and go throw it in the bin, he stacked it all on top of one of the big, like, you know, the ones you see in the lobby? Like, the ones that are kind of, like, tucked away in the thing? He had, like, all the lobby's garbage just, like, stacked up like that. Really? And he just walked with it without spilling it and, like, just, he was back in, like, 30 seconds. He didn't even, like, throw the trash, I swear. But
that kind of balance he has is insane.
I don't know. That's why, like, you know what I mean? The people who, like, have good jobs at McDonald's, they're good at what they do. Like, I'll admit, right? There's some people I've met who I'm like, damn, like, most people can't keep up with that, you know? Like, I remember when I first started, I was like, holy shit. And then, like, even then, you know, I think I consider myself a decent employee for the most part. Mm-hmm. Did get lazy sometimes, though. Especially when me and my buddy Javier were working. But like, you know, like I'm yet to see someone like as fast as like those guys at their job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just efficient. If Elena wants a private tour of McDonald's, I got you.
No, I'll steal your fries, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
He threw shit at people.
I have a minor salt addiction.
Nelly's the man. He threw shit at people. Yeah, mango smoothie knocked me down.
Didn't you almost get hit with a...
Oh, dude, I remember this dude, like, whipped a McFlurry so hard, and I just barely dodged it one day. I don't quite remember what happened, but I think I gave him the wrong McFlurry, and it was an honest mistake. We were busy. There was a lot of ice cream orders. I think I gave someone else, like, one flavor McFlurry and him the other flavor. Like, I mixed them up somewhere, right? And instead of like, hey, this is the wrong McFlurry, I'm like, okay, sorry, I'll replace it, no problem, right? That's on me and my mistake, right? Especially since I was a manager at this point, so I'm like, it's fine. I'll I can tell who I need to tell later that, hey, I had to give a McFlurry because I made a mistake, right? Instead, this man's logical reasoning was like, this is the wrong McFlurry, and he like whipped it so hard, and like I just barely didn't get hit, but like
10 points if you hit him in the eyeball.
It hit the back wall so hard that I was like, that would have took me out. Like that would have like actually hurt. It was like solid. Like they're not joking when they say McDonald's ice cream thick. Like holy.
Dairy Queen's ice cream is thick.
I also worked at Dairy Queen.
Oh, I know you did. I know.
I worked until I got into graphic design. I worked fast food my whole life. It's insane. Like I don't know. I kind of wish I got into retail, but then I don't think I'd have like the same work ethic because like fast food really pushes how much stress you can take, especially when you work at like certain locations. Like the McDonald's location I worked at, I'm not gonna name it obviously, but it was fairly busy compared to the rest in even like the country. So you were like, huh, you know what I mean? Like it was like top 10 in the country. So you're like, sometimes you're swamped, dude. VIP section, Tyson in the drive-thru.
That's where they hide the cheese.
What?
The VIP section. That's where all the good cheese is. They're very food-driven.
I can tell. Yeah, no, I could go on and on about my fast food stories and all the... There's a lot of shit you see as a fast food employee. I'm sure you can take most fast food employees and, like... Man, there was some things...
Or even just, like, a customer going through a fast food restaurant.
I saw some dude, like
that one guy who came in.
What
like,
are you talking
super... Or, I don't want to say it on stream because it was kind of bloody, but, like, during the winter. And he said he slipped on ice.
Oh, yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah.
That was a weird one. And then there was the, fuck. I forgot about that one. That was a weird day. I had to call the ambulance a few times, here and there.
Yeah, you also had to help with cleanup, too.
Sometimes.
Like, you offered that time.
Yeah.
Because there was just a lot.
Yeah, no, like I said, I did what I could. I didn't have an issue with that part of the job. But like, yeah, I saw some crazy things, and then like I saw this dude in like, I don't even think it was a truck, but I saw this dude like hit one of those yellow guides, and then like complain to us that's too tight. But like I've seen people in like pickup trucks do that same turn like a million times, and he like knocked it over. What?
You're getting called out. Surprise.
Oh man, I did that. Okay, so this guy in the drive-thru, he had a really thick accent, and like the drive-thru thing, it's pretty good, but it's not the best sometimes, right? So I'm having trouble hearing this guy, and like I gave him his order, and then he came back and he's like, I ordered Sprite, not Fry, but I keep hearing I ordered Fry, not Fry. I'm like, sir. And like, it got like kind of heated, and like, he got to the window and we cleared it up and it was all good, but it was like, ooh, it was not okay. I do remember that. At least they didn't drive into the building. Yeah, no, but that's what I think. I think it was like Leo or Kalen who had to explain it to the guy that like, if you would have hit the building, we would have had to take legal action, but you hit the metal post, right? And then I remember a couple days later, we had to move it because the high school kids tried picking it up and taking it.
High school kids are like a different breed.
I also remember one day I was a guest experience leader, so like a part of my job was making sure the lobby was tidy, right? So like, you know, I'd pick up some trays, do my job, right? And I'm like, there's chairs missing. I'm like looking around the restaurant, and I like go ask my boss, I'm like, is there something did like another restaurant like have an event and they needed chairs or something? And like, I look out the play place area. Oh, we're shaking the table.
Oh, sorry.
I look out the play place window and these
Hi,
kids.
Savannah, my love.
I look out the play place window and these kids have like the chairs like on the sidewalk for some reason. I'm like, what the hell? And then I had to go out and give him shit. But I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, you're not. Like, don't lie to me. On top of it, like I respect that you're like, yeah, it was me, but like, don't lie. You're not sorry. You'd 100% do it again. If someone paid you, you'd do it.
Yeah.
That was funny. There was also some like regulars that I missed from McDonald's though. I used to work like morning shifts.
Anthony's here.
Anthony's here?
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Lena. Oh.
Oh no,
that's not
Anna.
Anthony. That's
Hopkins.
That's Ronnie.
Ron. Hi, Ron.
That's Ronnie. Stop bumping the table. Elena's a mess, guys. She's been like kicking shit for like 20 minutes.
I get really fidgety if I have to sit for too long or do anything for too long.
So she resorts to kicking the table.
Yeah, I've been trying to like fidget with something else, but I'm dying.
Or like I had to deal with this issue of there was a lot of like I said, I can't name specifically what McDonald's I worked at, but there was a lot of vegetarians in my area where we worked, and it's a McDonald's, and we have like we used to have a cheeseburger no meat and like grilled cheeses and stuff, right? I don't know if they still have them, and you could order like a Big Mac with no meat, so it'd be like extra lettuce sort of thing. But I would have people like dead ass order like a cheeseburger, and then
Savannah, I'll date you. I'm sorry, your cousin and I are gonna start dating. It's my best friend, my other best friend. It's Shanice. Hi, Shanice. Shanice, I love you.
Oh, okay. Since Kayla wants to keep exposing me about my McDonald's career, when I was a guest experience leader, I had like the same.
Ronnie's asking you out on a date.
What?
Ronnie's asking you out on a date.
Oh yeah, like 6:00 next weekend. No, peak professionalism. No, okay. Now I gotta tell some back. Since Kaylin keeps exposing me, I gotta give backstory for like the people who are gonna tune in on YouTube and Spotify. But so Kaylin's talking about how I used to wear like a green Pickle Rick shirt underneath my see-through,
oh my God, your Pickle Rick
my see-through white guest experience leader shirt. So McDonald's, when I had to wear like a red tie and a white shirt, and I looked like a tool. But like,
we're a tool.
I was a tool because I'd be like, "Hi, how are you?" Like it turned into like a routine so quick. I enjoyed it though. I did. I got to talk to a lot of people, but it was see through. But in my basement, I couldn't tell because I was sleeping in my parents' basement back then. I couldn't tell that
How
the shirt was
fuck
see-through.
Did he become manager? I actually ask myself that a lot too, gang.
They wanted. I got. I'm not even gonna get into that story. But like, I was okay at my job at one point. Believe it or not, I was a good worker. He blew a guy named.
Dane says it makes sense.
Okay, we're gonna skip past that. But so in my basement, I'd look and the shirt looks perfectly white. It's fine, right? I had like 3 variants of the Pickle Rick shirt for some reason because I had a bit of an obsession.
3 different pickles.
They were having a sale at Alchemy Apparel for all like Rick and Morty stuff for like the new season. I'm like, this, and so I'd usually wear them as work shirts because I'm like, it got to the point where I got out of that phase and I was like, I probably shouldn't wear Pickle Rick stuff.
You should have worn them as a work shirt.
Oh, thanks for the follow, Hop King Jr. Thanks much appreciated. Thanks for supporting the channel. Can I get a let's go?
Let it go.
No, okay, I gotta tell that story after too.
Oh god.
But I'd show up to work, and then Kayla would be like, God damn it, Nick, because you can see just like a big Pickle Rick underneath my shirt, like right behind the tie.
I just want to know how you kept a job though.
Dude, I was a
Pickle Rick
good.
shirts.
I like to believe I was a good employee. I did have my flaws. I was by no means a perfect employee, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that I was.
Your work ethic.
Yeah,
was
I do believe I was a decent employee, right? Despite my flaws. You know, especially on the customer service side of things, that was definitely like my strong suit. But yeah, so pretty much every day for like 6 months, Kaylin would see this bright ass pickle fucking, you know, because after 3 days you do some laundry, right? So like they just get back in the rotation. Let's fucking go. Gave me free food, lol. Oh, Savannah, you can't say that my ex-manager is in the chat. I did not give anybody free food, not once. Not even once. I may have given my employee meal to someone I knew. My free manager meal at one point. I would skip lunch and, you know, if I didn't eat lunch, I didn't eat lunch. But I never gave free food. I don't know what you're talking about. Simp. I will. You Asian.
Simp wars.
So, Kaylin. Dear God. I don't know. And then, like, it was fun working at McDonald's, too, because, like, there was, like, a really good, like, energy between the employees. Mm-hmm. Like, there was Kaylin, Stanford, Leo. Like, everyone kind of, like, meshed really well together. Mm-hmm. You know, we got pissed off at each other sometimes, but, like, that shit happens, right? I remember I like showed up on my day off one day to like tell Kaylin like what the fuck. I forget what it was about, but I know it was something stupid. And I shut up. I was like, I think it was something to do with like a code because like there was like a manager code to do certain things on the register, and he accused me of giving someone his code. So not his code, my code. So I like showed up to the restaurant, like. Oh, that was a funny day, but. Yeah, it was just less screaming and yelling. Lots of a mess. September's almost over. You can never not simp for an Asian.
I don't know if that's
Kaylin's got a type.
A simp. September. Like so.
You're terrible. Yeah, McDonald's. I'm sure I'll bring up a few of those stories in future. Oh shit, we play a little footsies there for a second. But
he's in my fidget space. I'm gonna kill him.
But I'm sure you guys are gonna hear about more McDonald's stories because I got quite a few. McDonald's, Dairy Queen. We're just gonna call them fast food things because there does not need to be specifics. But
yeah.
Stories of fast food are definitely interesting. I remember having a guy yell at me because there was a burger in his cheeseburger and proceed to like whip out the things on the counter because like there was a big vegetarian community around there, right? Mm-hmm. So they'd order like burgers and stuff, and did we? I don't know if the stream froze. Can someone tell me the stream froze? Give me money first. Let's go, baby.
Wait, can someone tell us if the stream?
Yeah, can someone tell us if the stream's frozen? Because my tablet definitely is.
Okay.
Now you're good. No freezing. Okay, then
Thank
it's
you,
just
mi amor.
yeah. My Wi-Fi. Oh, my Wi-Fi is not the best sometimes, but my landline, which my stream is connected to, is. At least the chat.
Is there an OnlyFans for this? Yeah, you can subscribe to my OnlyFans where it's just videos of me crying for about an hour over some anime.
Why do I feel like that'd still be successful? People are weird, man.
I'll put on anime eyelashes and cry to anime for like $20 a month.
Oh, man. What's like the worst like drunk we've gotten together?
Val says $30.
Who's Valiant?
Shanice.
Gagan's watching on a PSP. Gagan! Respect to you for having a PSP in 2020.
I have a PSP somewhere, it just doesn't work, I think.
The PS Vita would have been good if they just marketed it properly. There was no good game. Like, there was no reason to get it. I think we talked about this earlier, but, like, let me emphasize.
Skyrim was portable on a PSP. I mean, I guess it's, like, it is.
It's on Switch now.
But...
And there's, like, PS3 emulators people run on some beefy tablets.
Yeah.
But,
Beefy.
yeah, what's, like, the most drunk we've ever gotten? Because, like, me and Elena have had some of their biggest parties with each other.
The most drunk I ever got, I think was 2 years ago. It was Rebecca's Christmas party, and I think Fluffy had an ear infection, and I was so drunk that I got into my mom's car and I started crying because my friend's dog had an ear infection. And I was inconsolable, and I had about a 2-day hangover.
Or there was that time on my 18th where, like, I fell over. Like, we went to Atlas Pizza for my 18th birthday. I'm like, damn, I've always eaten the pizza. I've never been able to go to the bar. So for my 18th birthday, the first thing I want to do...
There is a smart toaster. I will put it on my OnlyFans, Shanice. Okay, sorry, continue.
We'll come back to the smart toaster. I'm interested.
You don't know?
Like, is it like one of those ones that like draw faces, or is it like?
No, it's like an actual it's an electric toaster. Like
every toaster's electric.
No, but it's got like a screen on it.
Does it have like bagel settings?
Yeah. Like it's an actual thing. I'm not even joking. Like there's some kitchens who have it.
I want my toast medium rare.
Yeah, it actually looks like a really nice toaster.
But I think the worst one I got was like, okay, when I went to the strip club on my 18th with my family, that was like the worst. But that wasn't with Elena. But let's just say I had a plan that I told my mother because they decided it was a good idea to bring me home after ingesting that much liquor. I decided to tell my mom that I was running away with this stripper, then I was gonna go take her life away, like take her life from the strip club, like away from the strip club, and we were gonna move away to Cochrane and like have a life together. That stripper robbed me that night of $300. But that's a story I'm not gonna go into too much detail about out of my professional image, you know, already tainted, but we don't need tank it, you know what I mean? But the day before that, I was super drunk too because that was like the friends get together instead of like because believe it or not, the family get together was the strip club. The friends get together was the bar and then a house party. This was a few years ago now, but I remember I was so drunk coming out of the bar because I already got loaded at the bar. People were handing me shots left, right, and center. Right? My uncle showed up, gave me a couple shots, and then the bartender gave me a couple shots, and then, you know. I was pretty loaded walking out of the bar. We got to my house. My dad ended up driving me and my drunk friends to my house, and then we ended up partying even more. And I fell down on the ground, and I was like, I gotta get up so my dad doesn't see this. And I fell in front of my dad, who I hadn't realized was there the whole time. It's pretty good. It's on video somewhere deep. deep down, some devices that are never gonna be dug up again. But that was pretty good. I think a lot of people go hard for their 18th because you never really have like direct access to things like alcohol. Like most people definitely drink before they're 18, but you can't just like the novelty of walking into a liquor store has worn off. But I definitely remember the feeling. You know what I mean? Of like, yes, this is prime. This is peak. It was peak for a while.
We had very different thoughts. My first 18 thought was like, I can legally own a dog.
Just walking
Under
around
my
with a
name.
toaster on David's portable charger, emulating some Pokemon on your toaster. Could you imagine playing like
To
Sapphire?
throw the ball, you have to like pull the little lever down.
Actually, screw the old Pokemon games. Just get Pokemon Go on a toaster.
It's gonna die again.
Worst case scenario, we use this plug-in right behind
Yeah.
you. Because I think your computer one can be that long, right?
Yeah, it can go a little longer.
Yeah. We might have to do another device switch soon because all our portable devices that let us see the chat are dying on us, unfortunately. But
Just
so
like
weird.
us.
Who like greenlit and who like proposed the idea like we're gonna have a smart toaster?
They
Like,
look really nice.
I know they look really nice, but like how do you get funding and like greenlit for that kind of project? Like, that's like
Shanice wants to know how long we've known each other and what our first meeting was like. So, I met Negro in high school, and he was in our social class, but all he ever wore were like trench coats and fedoras.
Not even okay, the fedora was like a. Here's the thing about the fedora that.
Okay,
like,
wait,
people,
shut up.
okay.
I thought he was a school shooter, so I didn't want to talk to him.
Here's the thing about the fedora. For Spanish class, she wanted us to bring something of from like our home countries, and Chile has like this weird hat. It kind of looks like a fedora, right? And I had to wear it like to school, right? Well, I didn't have to wear it to
You
school.
brought a straight up fedora.
Yeah, but like I wore it one day, and like you know how powerful a fedora is. No one forgot. Okay, I wore it once, and everyone was like, "Holy shit!"
Shanice is making fun of you. Here's the thing about the fedora.
I mean, at least some people were into it. I'm not gonna name names.
Yeah, some people liked
but
it.
I definitely had simps back then, still somehow, some way.
Yeah, and I just didn't want to talk to him because I thought
I
he was
appealed to a
weird.
very specific group of people. It was a large group of people, but like they could all be fit into a category.
Yeah.
Of no one and no. It's all the kids who never passed their like emo scene phase yet.
Yeah.
Because we were all entering grade 10, and like a lot of us came out from like that phase into high school. Lena was coming out of it. I do remember that.
Shanice wants to know what the quality of your simps were, though.
One of them was pretty attractive. I'm not gonna name names, but he was also a male.
Who was it? We'll name names later.
Yeah. Knows my ex. Knows Pekka's. Knows Mackenzie.
Oh.
Yeah. There was a select few that like they weren't all crazy. I swear. It was a weird.
Most of them were crazy.
It wasn't as bad as people make it out to be, but it was pretty bad for like the first couple months of high school.
Yeah.
But then we grew out of that phase. I joined the rugby team and got some sense knocked into me.
Yeah, and Nico and I didn't actually start talking until after he almost died. Like, talking consistently and being friends.
Oh my god.
Until this kid almost lost his life.
Okay, so this is like a story that pertains a bit to like my ex and a bit to Elena and a bit to my current friends. It's like grade 11 or grade 12, I forget. But I was at the Village Square Leisure Center, and I went to go do a backflip off the diving board. I did like 3 before this because I was like, I don't know, I was like one of those really showboaty, annoying ass kids at one point. So I was doing backflips off the diving board just for shits and giggles, and the last time I tried, I just jumped straight up. I didn't like jump away from the board like you're supposed to. And I came straight down on my head, knocked myself out, and landed in the pool. I ended up not showing up to school for a few days after on the fact of like I had to get like resuscitated beside a leisure center, beside a leisure center pool, and then like everyone was really concerned. I found out my ex liked me at that time. I found out Elena apparently cared a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, even though he was like weird, I was like, yo, this guy hasn't been in school for a while. Shanice wants to know what your first impression of me was.
That one I haven't even like discussed with like even Elena a little bit.
Sorry, his brother just came down.
That one I haven't even like discussed with like Elena a little bit. I do remember because I was hanging out with another group, like the anime club group, a little bit when I first started high school. Because like it was like I came out of junior high at a weird phase because I was like in the middle of like my emo scene phase, but I was also like introduced into like weebery.
Weebery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inquisitively, you know, it's still degeneracy, but it's just a nicer word for it. But I was hanging out with a certain group, and then my first impression of Elena, I was like, huh, you were a Korean chick. I was in the anime club. I was like, she's pretty cute. And then I ended up talking to Angel and then meeting Elena formally.
Yeah.
And then I was like, she's fucking batshit crazy and I hate her. Because, like, we were very similar, and I'm like, I hate how she just, like, talks shit. Elena was pretty in your face all the time, so it was pretty...
Yeah.
It was pretty good. We meshed pretty well, actually, but I was like, from, like, seeing her to, like, meeting her a few weeks later, I was like, okay, not the personality I thought.
No.
I thought you were going to be, like, quiet and shy. Shy and quiet, you know, but it
But then I wasn't.
yeah, and then we meshed really well.
We're both Libras.
We're pretty similar, so we get along pretty well.
Like I said, if we fused into one person, the only differences that would really happen is that we would have a god complex while also being super depressed at the same time. But other than that, everything would stay the same.
I'll admit, I do have those tendencies where I'm like, I am the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like, I'll make, like, a logo, and, like, it's either, like, I hate it, and I never want to look at it again, and I should just quit my career and go back to McDonald's, and then it...
Or it's like, I'm God, no one else is better than I am.
I'm like, no one can touch this level of logo creativity. I was like, the detail and the simplicity mixed together greatly. I'm sitting here like, I've created balance.
I used to think that, and I went into my program, and I was like, I feel
nothing. Like I'm like balancing the Apple Pencil on my finger. I'm like, I am Thanos. Balance is everything. One of her best qualities. Oh yeah, I do have the AMA tag.
Which?
Nothing like a near-death experience to bring the best out of people. I agree, it really did. It was nice knowing that people are like, huh. People were genuinely concerned. I was really close with my friends Rebecca and Perla at the time, so they were like obviously concerned. But like it was nice to know that it was like good because I had a pretty big falling out with like another friend group of mine right before that. So it was like, or right after that maybe. I think it was not. So it was nice to know who was like actually real to chill with and shit, which is nice, you know. Whatever. Those other guys didn't want to chill, that's fine. But,
it's like, this guy almost died, I should be nice to him.
One of the best qualities, haha. Well, how relatable she is to me, I guess. I don't know. Me and her are pretty, like let's go back to, like, the similar thing.
We are the same.
Right? So we, like, it's nice that I'm able to talk to her, and she just kind of, like, gets it, right? We have pretty similar, like, emotional ranges for the most part, so it's, like, and pretty, like, similar processes. Like, we're not the same completely, but, like, it's nice that she's able to, like, relate and be, like, empathetic to my situations.
Yeah. And we're also, like, both equally chill.
Oh, yeah. Like, we can just vibe. Like, a lot of the times we hang out, there's no game plan.
Have either of you had other near-death experiences? Nico.
Libras? We might have to share some of these for the next episode because I don't know
Nico's had a lot of near-death experiences.
I have, it's built up over time, but I have a lot of, like, white marks on my back and, like, road rash scars because I am an avid longboarding enthusiast. I don't do it as often anymore. Unfortunately, with, like, school and work, I haven't been able to just go out. But I remember in, like, high school and, like, junior high, Me and my buddy Matt. Sorry, my voice is getting kind of shot.
Yeah, we've been talking for a while, so our voices are kind of rough right now.
But actually, give me 1 second. I got a solution for this. We'll put a pin in that. And which friend is this of yours, Elena, again?
Shanice.
I enjoy Shanice's topics.
Shanice, Nico likes you.
But there was a few times where I'd be going, because like even in Christina Lake, I'd like scare my parents. Me and my family like to go visit Christina Lake in the summers. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty long drive from where we are, but I'm not even in frame. My bad, boys. There you are. We needed some refreshments. Oh, I'm not even using my I made such an emphasis about using coasters earlier, and I'm not even using them.
My near-death experience was when I was like 10. I went up a McDonald's slide when someone was going down, and they kicked my arm the other way, and it broke. So that's my near-death experience.
You ever eat a really good sandwich? Wait, we'll put a pin in that. I was halfway through the other stories, but I've had a few close calls. A lot of them involved because I would like going down like these really big like mountainside roads, like not the main highways because those are filled with people, but like me and my buddy Max would go out, do stuff, and every once in a while we'd fall and we get pretty beat up. Like I think you've seen it, right? Like part of the reason why I got a tattoo is like the one shoulder I'd always hit has like a bunch of little white like marks all over. Like it looks weird kind of. I've been called out on it a few times, but like that's just like road rash, right? Like none of them were super okay. One of them was super bad, but like it just kind of like built up over time, right? And a few of those were at pretty high speeds, and one of the worst ones was I hit a barrier. So we ended up investing in slide gloves and some nicer shoes and things like that to help keep us safe. We obviously always wore helmets, but like you're going like what 45 kilometers to 50 kilometers on a skateboard down a mountain road. It gets a little dicey sometimes, right? And we're by no means professionals, but I would say we're pretty good at that kind of stuff.
He has a god complex, so he says this.
Hey man, it was pretty cool. I had a poster up in the skate shop for a little bit.
I'm just gonna do a quick technology switch.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll keep the story going. But where was I going with that? Oh yeah. But that one was pretty bad because I kept sliding because we had the slide gloves on and I couldn't quite stop myself. But I just straight up like I hit the railing. I went off the railing, off the path. It was pretty scary. That one was pretty bad. And then my buddy Max actually had a worse one though. He ended up breaking his leg because he ended up sliding backwards on his butt. And when he slid backwards on his butt, he ended up getting his leg caught in one of those metal barriers like on the turn. Because it's usually the turns you fall on when you're downhill long way, not the straightaways. Because if you come in too fast or at the wrong angle, you're screwed. It happens so fast that you got to make that like hesitation's a big problem. But he ended up getting his leg caught in it. Like his leg went in and his body kept going, and his leg got caught, and he ended up breaking his leg, and we had to like drive him to hospital. And the nearest hospital was like so far away. Like I was kind of like at first we're like, should we call and get him airlifted? And we're like, no, we can get him there pretty fast. But like an hour in, we're like, holy, we should call somebody because like he was like bleeding and everything. Like not too bad at first, but it definitely got worse. We did get him to the hospital though. He kept insisting that he was okay, and in retrospect, we probably should just called the airlift. But it's a hell of a story, you know what I mean? Like his leg was messed up though. Like it was like bent like this. It was weird. I gotta plug Elena's thing in one second.
But yeah, he's almost died a couple times.
well, we might dedicate an episode.
She wants to know if you ever had like flashbacks, or if you were just like, "Fuck, I'm gonna die here."
Sometimes when you hit the point of no return, I'm still in frame. Okay. Sometimes when you hit the point of no return in certain things, especially with some of the activities that I do. They're a lot like, well, used to do. I don't do too much of that kind of stuff anymore, but like.
Yeah, because you'll die.
But I feel like I've definitely had moments where I'm like, this is gonna suck, like this is gonna hurt. You know, like when I've made some of my bigger mistakes. There's definitely been a few seconds before like impact, because a lot of it's like just high impact, high speed with the longboarding thing. I've had a few moments where it definitely felt like things are slowing down and I might be in trouble. But the only advice I can give you is protect your head. Like straight up, that's like the best advice I can give you. Protect your head.
And your neck. Your neck is pretty important.
Yes. But yeah, it's been pretty good. We might dedicate an episode to certain topics. There's definitely a lot more stories. Elena's definitely been around for some of these. And then, how about you? Other than like almost ripping your toe off.
Don't die, Nico, basically, is what Savannah said.
It is what it is.
Have you both traveled out of Canada? What's the furthest from home you've been? The furthest I've been from home is when I went to Korea, and I was really angry because I just got my dog, and I didn't want to go because I couldn't bring my dog. So I was kind of salty for the whole trip because I couldn't have my dog with me. But it's actually really pretty in Korea. We kind of just missed cherry blossom season, which was kind of a bummer. But like aside from the sewage smell, it's really nice there. How about you?
Not really. Mostly just trips to BC for now. I just really like it out in BC, so I tend to hover around that place when it comes to like visits. But I definitely have plans to go travel. I'm looking for options for. Unfortunately, with COVID happening, the main job I was applying for is going to be delayed because of border closures. But I'm definitely trying to get a position to go teach abroad for a couple years, somewhere in Japan, most likely through the JET program, or through like other countries with similar programs like that. But that all requires me to finish school first, though.
Yeah.
And with COVID, I don't see it happening for another year, right? I got an email from the Japan jobs I was applying for saying that the border's probably going to be closed for a little bit longer, but that could change too. They also said that could change, so here's hoping.
Hopefully. Also, Korea is it's got a lot more nature than you would think. Like a lot of it is buildings, but just driving through Korea, there's a lot of natural beauty, like mountains and woods and stuff. It's actually really pretty. Okay, yo, can I be a guest? I promise I'll bring COVID.
Who?
Gagan.
Gagan, if you are self-quarantining for at minimum 14 days and can prove that to me,
How is COVID going in our area?
we can definitely have you on.
We're better than Toronto, I think, but
I mean, Canada's doing better overall than our neighbors U.S. over there,
yeah, but things are still like bad.
I think
Especially because no one wants them. Actually, people here have been pretty good about masks.
except for a few rallies here and there, but there's always the groups. But definitely with like for post-secondary students in our part of the country haven't gone back to school, but they're sending kindergarten to grade 12 back to school. And some people have the option for online, but not everyone. And it's kind of insane that they think that kids are going to follow guidelines and stuff like that.
Well, like, I've seen some kids wear masks, but there are a lot of kids who, like, actually don't.
Oh, yeah. Like, well, my brother likes to wear masks and everything, too, right? Like, my little brother. Yeah. So that's good. But, like, still, I feel like I'm hoping it works out. I am honestly hoping it works out, but I just don't see it working out for too long. There's already a list of schools in our area that have gotten COVID, like positive cases, and whole sections of the school are quarantining because of that. Pretty much like every class, every student of every class that student had, plus all the teachers. And that's crazy.
Our families have been doing okay. Like, you know that mine had a couple scares here and there, but everyone had tested negative, so like we were okay in that retrospect, and the same goes for Nico. I think Canada handled COVID pretty well.
Yeah, the whole CERB thing, it definitely wasn't planned as well as it could have been. However, you have to keep in mind that
This was like a we need to give them funding.
Yeah,
kind of deal.
there was not a lot of time to plan that sort of thing. So since there wasn't a lot of time to plan that sort of thing, they tried their best. They honestly tried their best, but
and like a state can handle something like this as well as they want. But a lot of it also boils down to like the kind of action people take. Like again, going back to the anti-maskers, like this is gonna be extended because people don't want to wear masks
and I think
and don't want to sanitize, right?
a lot of that's due though to like online echo chambers, like the whole like anti-vax thing and the whole Earth is flat. Before echo chambers used to be like secluded to like communities and like like in the 1950s, 1960s, like moms would have like chickenpox parties because they didn't want to give like the chickenpox vaccine and stuff like that when it first came out. And that's like an echo chamber full of like myths and stuff like that, right? But now with like online and internet services and stuff, like now you get people who have access to so much online and they all of a sudden have a platform to advertise their views.
Yeah, I agree. Australia is similar. My state handled it well because it's an island, but the main continent has two major hotspots that didn't fare so well until our state government really began forcing citizens to obey, which has been the most effective. And my mom literally had a chickenpox party with my neighbors so my sister and I would get it.
Yeah, those still happen, but like, yeah, that's
like,
a thing.
Like I have it. I had chickenpox. All I remember from chickenpox was that that calamine lotion. Stuff? I love that calamine lotion stuff. I just wanted to like bathe in it. I don't know what it was about it, but I loved that stuff.
I was lucky enough that I never got it, which is good because I had a friend who got it. His name was Josh, and he was like, he couldn't stop itching. He was super young when he got it, and he was like had sores and stuff all over because he couldn't stop itching. Like it was so bad. Like,
I spent most of my days in an oatmeal bath because I was so itchy.
Thank God for vaccines and stuff, right? Because like that just sucks, right? And then like there's things like, remember when like for the beginning of the year, like there was like a case of polio in the U.S. because of like the whole anti-vax thing and stuff. Like that's crazy. Like because polio is thought to be like exterminated in like North America at least.
Are you going to consider having a live audience after COVID is over?
A live audience?
Like, Kaylin, do you mean like people who just come over and chill? Or
I was gonna say I plan on having some guests. Definitely with like the quarantining stuff, I'm gonna have guests over COVID, but only quarantine and safely. But live audience, I haven't thought about that because when I think live audience, I think of like
canned laughter and a pause.
Yeah, or like even like night shows, like talk shows. They kind of do the same thing. Like they have a live audience, but it's kind of like whoever the main subjects. Maybe, I don't know. That's something we could definitely look into. I'm hoping to upgrade my facilities soon to compensate for a better streaming experience. I could maybe take that into account. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Shanice also wants to know if the government's come together with a vaccine, quote unquote, for COVID in the next 18 months. What do you think about getting it?
Being in North America, the whole Bill Gates Foundation and stuff has said that they have something in trials already. That's a kind of an iffy topic. I mean, I guess we'll get there when we get there. It's really hard to push a vaccine out like governments on the government side of things without enough testing and stuff like that. But there's also, since it's a pandemic, like there's also that theory like, what if they rush it? I don't think they would, but only time will tell, right? Because I can read scholarly articles to you all day, but once it happens, it happens. So we gotta just wait and see, I guess. Because people are like, oh, mandatory like vaccinations that are bad, but like most countries have a minimum mandatory vaccination, right? So it's, if they just add that to the list, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not anti-vax, right? So I'm just like, it is what it is. If it's safe, it's safe. I don't think Bill Gates would intentionally make his consumers sick because then his money flow stops, which counteracts a lot of those conspiracy theories out there. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see when we see, right? I'm still yet to see anything actually claiming to work. So
yeah,
like with proof,
I am the same. I don't like injections just because I don't like needles. But if it's something like this, like I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
As long as I know that they've taken the time to like test it properly and thoroughly, and make sure it's safe before.
As long as it goes through, as long as it goes through the same steps that every other vaccination has to go through, which I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will just get front of the line testing priority. I'm sure that's how they're gonna push it out faster. Then whatever. If I hear that it differed from it in any way, I might be a bit more skeptical. But I'm pretty sure they'll just push it through the same testing that every other vaccine goes through.
Yeah.
Right.
And like the other thing is, we're not immortal. Like we're gonna die eventually. I would just rather prolong my death until I was older.
Yeah, modern medicine's the reason we live so long. Because like what was the life expectancy in like the 80s or not the 80s? Like the 1800s?
I think it was about 30.
Yeah, dude. Like, there was, like... Because composers, before they had, like, the little stick, they had, like, a big, like, staff that they would, like, stomp the ground with. And, yeah, a big staff that they would, like, stomp.
Savannah's making fun of you. The 80s. In the 80s, according to Nico, someone's life expectancy was only 30 years.
Okay? You remember the whole point of this podcast, Savannah. We are... on the spiritual side. But, like, composers, they didn't have, like, the little stick at one point in time. They had, like, this big staff that they would, like, stomp on tempo. And it was, a pretty solid stick, so what would happen is, I don't know exactly what year this is, but, like, definitely, like, pre-modern society. They'd, like, smash their toe, and they'd have to, like, cut it off, and then... because if they didn't, they'd get gangrene. But also the surgery for cutting it off was so rudimentary that they still might get gangrene. And, like, a lot of composers would die super early because they'd smash their foot one day during a recital. Right? Like, could you imagine, like... could you imagine, like, because, like, you technically, like, in your finger, like, cuticles, like, when they get green, sometimes have you ever, like, smashed your finger and got, like, green on the side of your finger?
Mine don't turn green. Mine turn purple. What is wrong with your body?
I don't know. I do a lot of work with my hands, though, too, right? So it might get infected easier. But, like, if you get, like, an infected, like, fingernail or something, right? That's, like, gangrene. And, like, without modern medicine, most people would, like, die from stuff like that. But we have enough, like, stuff to supplement that. That, like, it's crazy.
Like, I have nothing against medicine or vaccines or whatever. Like, I also like natural medicine. Just because, like, I just like that stuff.
Synthetic materials were made from natural products.
Yeah, I know. But that's... but it's also, like... You know, all the conspiracies. That's another thing. There's so much, like, fake news out there that people are using to credit their knowledge off of.
Oh yeah, the amount of people who like can't tell what like I'll be having like discussions with people and I'll be like, well, this like academic paper was like not funded by anything that would like interfere with this kind of topic, like it has nothing to do with the information. Those are usually the most reliable ones when like the sponsor or like the institution has no biases or no funders. Mm-hmm. Those ones are pretty good, but people are like, well then why did the news say this? I'm like, well, the news is full of shit.
Especially when their source is Fox News.
Right? Like, it's not completely full of shit. There is still some good journalism out there and stuff like that. But, like, it's so generalized and it's kind of, like... They don't necessarily lie, but it is, like, clickbaity almost. Yeah. Like, that's what it can be defined as. Like, it's... Headlines are, like, the original YouTube clickbait titles.
Yeah. Well, especially when you look at YouTube now and headlines. Like, YouTubers literally... There are some YouTubers who spend... more time on the thumbnail because that's the first thing people see.
Big and flashy, boys. Big and flashy. I don't know. I haven't even thought about thumbnails for the podcast, to be completely honest. Maybe. But yeah. We definitely have some projects lined up. Definitely some like merch. You know, if no one buys the merch, that's whatever. But we'll definitely be wearing some of the merch sooner.
Poggers. Savannah said pog face.
Yeah, we'll definitely be releasing some merch, some stickers. You know, just some cool stuff. You know.
I like stickers, so if you can tell by the back of my laptop.
Oh, they can see that on camera.
Yeah. And that's not all the stickers I have. Like, I have a bunch of old Vine sticker references that are just hiding somewhere. So Shanice is asking how often we think we'll be streaming and, like, what's the schedule?
We're hoping for every Friday at 6 p.m. with a few exceptions, such as, like, birthdays and certain holidays and stuff. But for the most part, we're aiming for every Friday at 6 p.m. we'll be here. And we're hoping to be super because like part of this is tied to school on the Instagram side of things. So we're also going to be super active on social media, especially the Instagram platform. So if you guys want to check us out there, you'll probably get the most up-to-date information out of the Instagram.
Yeah.
And then we'll obviously post it here and other places, but for the most up-to-date information, the Instagram is where to go.
Yeah.
And I think that's linked in the channel.
It is, yeah.
So.
And, like, aside from it being, like, work and a school project, Nico's in school now, so, like, this is the only time I get to hang out with him.
This is our recreational time. We figured if it's going to be a school project, we might as well make the most of it, right? Like, because I want to continue, like, even once school ends, I want to continue this. I want to, you know, I thoroughly like the idea of having a platform to, like, be able to use to talk about things and to be able to give people a platform to talk about things who may not have a platform. So.
And regarding talking about things, because Shanice just asked, it'll just be like kind of everything and anything, just because we have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about a lot in general.
We're gonna try to avoid some super controversial topics, but for the most part, we want to keep an open platform. We just don't want to talk about things that like we don't want to help spread certain things.
Yeah.
Obviously, so we're gonna avoid certain hot topics, but. Definitely want to keep it as open. We definitely at some point want to talk about some more difficult topics such as like mental health and things like that. I can talk through a bit of personal experience, and I know that having someone.
Greg and I have a ton of thoughts, brother.
What did Gagan say?
You have a lot of thoughts, like, you know, thoughts.
Oh yeah, Elena does have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're called simps. It's no simp September, boys. Stay strong. Kaylin, stay strong.
But I like McDonald's.
Y'all gonna have a date at McDonald's?
I just like McDonald's. Shanice is like, hell yeah, she does. Shanice, I love you.
But,
And Savannah is like a long time simp. So Savannah is Nico's cousin, and he hates it when I flirt with his cousin.
It's very uncomfortable for me. Not because I have an issue with them flirting, but just because I'm related.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that. It's like when someone, like, finds, like, someone's like, is your sister cute? You're like, no. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird, right? Like, it's an uncomfortable kind of, like, you know?
Shanice wants to know, what are the topics we enjoy addressing the most?
I definitely go on ramblings about, like, the space and the universe and spirituality and stuff. I'm a very, like, man of science, I guess, but I definitely do enjoy, I guess you'd call them, like, you know, thoughts and theories, things that make you think a little, like, what ifs and things like that. It definitely, I think it ties kind of back into, like, my emphasis on spiritual health. I think it's important that you take care of your, like, mind as well as you take care of your soul, or as your soul, as well as you take care of, like, your physical body. I think, like, it's good for you to be able to decompress sometimes and maybe, you know, have, like, a way to cope with certain things, right? And I find that finding what works for everyone, since it's most likely different for everyone, or varies in some way, I find it's good to be able to at least, like, get pointed in the right direction, right? And that's why I find, like, a lot of those, like, theories and, like, spirituality stuff pretty interesting.
I am also about the same, but mine comes from a little more of, like, a witchcraft standpoint, just because, like, that's something I'm interested in and passionate about. But like I also like talking about like a bunch of like dumb topics, like memes and stuff, just because that's who I am. But like so those two aside, I also kind of like talking about things like the Black Lives Matter movement, the missing and murdered Indigenous women, and like a bunch of those political like minority kind of deals. Just because like that's what is important to me as someone who is a minority and is in the LGBTQ community. As you can tell by my constant flirting with the chat, take a shot every time Nick hits a video. You'd be like hammered by the end of the
You'd be
street.
dead in 15 minutes. I'm throwing it out there. There's no way someone could like go like shot for Huff with me. You know what I mean? Because I'll admit I do have like I feel like with school I've definitely given myself some coping mechanisms
Nicotine
that might
addiction.
not be the healthiest. I definitely have a caffeine addiction. At SAIT, I would buy a lot of energy drinks or
He
coffees.
spent $500 on Monster in like a month.
That was a semester. I did the math for the semester. It was like second semester. It was one of the tougher semesters I had. Definitely ended with like that. But like,
I think you spent more in the semester, buddy.
no, because the SAIT didn't have any
He
sales on
would
energy
get
drinks.
3 Monsters a day.
We've definitely toned that down.
Yeah,
now.
he's toned it down now, especially because he can't like leave the house to get them,
But-
or isn't like on campus to get them.
Yeah, but like, they were so easy to access too. It was like because like since I'm pretty sure SAIT has some deal with Coke or something, because you can only find like Coke beverages, even like bottled water.
Shanice says Elena calling Nico out. She sees you. Yeah. So also, what she didn't see is Nico and I pounded back 2 Red Bulls. Usually it's 2 Monsters, but I wasn't allowed to get energy drinks this time.
Because we'd have more.
Because we'd have more energy drinks, and that's all he would drink.
But I don't know. That's like been like a coping mechanism that I definitely got to work on for myself because What?
What did COVID change from you? Stopped me from having a heart attack.
Well, here's the thing is like I don't know. It's always been like energy drinks for me because I remember when I was in like grade 8 or 9, there was a dollar store right beside my junior high or like just down the street from it, and they were $1 amp energy drinks. That's like what I lived off of, and then it slowly got more and more. And by the time I was like I think grade 11 was like my most like I don't know. I'll call it like Chad year, I guess.
Chad.
Yeah, because I had like the leg press fucking record in my school and things like that for a couple months and things. So I was like, starting rugby player. I was a bit of a douche canoosh, but I like that word.
Douche
Like,
canoosh.
I gotta write that down. That's like something like Jack Black would say.
Jack Black has a YouTube channel.
Jablinski Games.
Blinsky Games. Also,
Jablinski Games, the legend, Jack
Kaylee,
Black.
Kaylin says, almost my bedtime, Nick. I gotta open tomorrow. How long are we doing this for?
Well, Kaylin, if you want to tune out anytime, we're gonna wing it on how far we go, just until we can't talk anymore, I guess. But
He's almost there. He's starting to lose his
yeah,
voice.
but if you miss any of it, we're gonna upload this on YouTube. Those links will be on the Instagram and on this page hopefully soon. Those will be uploaded either later tonight, but most likely be published tomorrow. So, if you want to catch the rest of it, because we're just gonna talk until
What time is it here? It's 9:50, so like almost 10 p.m.
It's been a pretty
Yeah,
long
we've
stream.
been doing this for 4 hours.
But I don't even know. We're talking about Jablinski Games.
Jablinski Games.
Jack Black, dude, what a legend.
A pure icon. I love it in Jumanji when he has to act like a teenage girl.
My favorite one is what's it called? Do you remember Nacho Libre?
Yeah.
I love that movie
Bro,
so
I
much.
love School of Rock.
Oh, with like not Megan Fox.
I only remember Jack Black in that whole movie.
No, who's the girl that plays Miranda Cosgrove?
Yeah.
Miranda-
Wait, who's your favorite celebrity?
My favorite celebrity? It depends on what industry, but with like music, I'm definitely like a big fan of like Joji. Papa Franco.
I like Chris Evans. Oh shit, what's her name? I can't remember her name now. It escapes me, but I also am totally in love with the girl who plays Wanda in the Avengers series.
Oh, Elizabeth Olsen.
Elizabeth Olsen. Yeah, I am in love with her. She is
Elizabeth
gorgeous.
Olsen is fine.
Yeah.
Also, you want to hear
and also Denai Guerra. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name, but Michonne from The Walking Dead. My queen. I love her.
So you want to know something interesting about the Avengers that only certain people would have caught? So you know that scene where where Wanda's fighting Thanos, and then she's like, "You took everything from me," and he's like, "I don't."
Yo, she could have destroyed him.
But he's like, "I don't even know who you are."
Bye, Kaylin.
See you, Kaylin. Have a good night, broski. You know that scene in the Avengers where she's like, "You've taken everything from me," and he's like, "I don't even know who you are." You know why that scene was so funny to me? There's a movie, I forget it. It's from a couple years ago, but the same guy who plays Thanos.
They're in a movie together,
and they slept together in that movie. So they were like super close. So I was just laughing because I remembered that scene and I was like, oh, huh. I don't know if that was a nod to that, but that was just an interesting It was pretty funny, especially since both actors look relatively the same. Like Thanos' version of him still looks like him.
Yeah.
Right? So it's
just like purple.
Mm-hmm. And yeah. I'm thinking of actors, I guess. I don't know, I can't really name any. Some people that I do follow though are Seth Rogen and
Sausage Party.
and I don't know. I do follow that one. I don't have a TikTok anymore, but I do follow this one girl on Instagram who's TikTok famous, that Bella Porch or whatever.
Bella Porch.
She's the one. I was surprised what she looked like because I clicked on she was tagged. I'm like, I wonder what this girl looks like, right? Because she does the really cutesy videos or whatever. But then, you click on her Instagram and she's not what you think she looks like. She doesn't look like a child. You know what I mean?
Nico's a simp.
Yeah, that's the one. No, I'm no simp. I have not subbed. I am not a simp.
He's a -1 tier simp.
I followed your Instagram and that's all you get from me.
Doesn't even follow her on TikTok. I even follow her on TikTok. Savannah says you're the ultimate simp.
The ultimate simp. King simp.
Ultimate simp.
I'm surprised I'm losing my voice. I did have to talk a lot today in class though too. They made us do certain things where we had to talk to the class and stuff, and I have a few more electives that I took instead of main course classes because my schedule wasn't full enough according to me. I regret that decision, but I'm already too far in the semester to drop courses. But I have a few electives, and a lot of them are communications courses and I like courses that public speaking things like that. So a lot of it's tell us about this topic. You got 5 minutes to fill, right? So there was a lot of talking today for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we might wrap things up here soon.
Yeah.
I think the conversation's drying up, but next week hopefully we'll have a guest. If not, me and Elena will be right back here doing the exact same thing where you guys can come ask us questions and we'll talk about anything. Be sure to follow the Instagram and follow the Instagram, and if you guys want to catch any part of the podcast that you missed, if you showed up late or you know people who would be interested in it, we'll upload it on YouTube and that will be linked in the channel as well as on the Instagram page.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for tuning into the first Highcast.
Thanks for coming.
I think it's been a success.
And thank you for all the subscribers. We didn't think we would do this all the first time, but thank you.